The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
People love patting themselves on the back. We rescued it, we saved it, we adopted it. No, you didn't. Here's what happened to your dog, my dog, every dog ever. The dog was born into a litter, kidnapped, given to you. But we think because we talk to the dogs like they're babies, that they're babies. They're not. They're our captives, right? But we think because we go like, are you a pretty girl? You a pretty girl? Pitch your voice down. You'll see what a monster you are. Like, are you a pretty girl?
We can go outside, but I can put a chain around your neck.
I love every dog I ever had. I remember them all, and I love every one of them.
Yeah, I love my dogs.
The average dog will stand between 15 and 16 inches at the withers. Bitches should be slightly smaller.
Showtime.
Isn't that just the cutest damn thing? Josh told me off air that today is National Hug Your Dog Day. Well, get over here, Cubby, and this time, I'm not letting go first.
I know. You guys are my dogs. I want a hug from all of you.
Come on, man.
One big group hug to start the show.
That's what I was thinking this morning. Like, I got a few dogs in studio.
Yeah.
And I got two at home. I can't wait to hug them.
Damn.
Bunch of dogs.
Welcome to the program, 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
And you know what? Like my dogs at home, I'd pick up your guys' poop. If it got to the point where you couldn't pick up your own, I'd do it.
I come in, I no longer have opposable thumbs. I can't do it myself.
Yeah, if you just have no ability to do it, I'll do it. I'll feed you. I'll play with you. I'd love to do that.
Will you tell me I'm a good boy?
You are a good boy.
Thank you.
Would Josh, you know me? What's the question?
Would you nap with me?
Hell yeah, I'd nap with you.
If he's going to pick up your turds, I think he'll take a nap.
And you got that gross beard hair. When you start shedding, I'll vacuum that up.
Yeah, if you get right under my chin good enough, I'll start kicking my back leg a little bit.
I'll keep you up on your flea and tick medication, everything. I'll walk you, you name it.
You'd pick up the poop. You know what, Josh? It might come to that. It might friggin' come to just exactly that. What a crowd we got out there this morning. Thanks for listening. It is early, though. My God, it's 5:43. What do I got here for you? I got something or another here in front of me about dogs. Well, sort of about dogs. And also about tattoos. PetSmart's got something going here. All right, 49% of people have a tattoo they don't like or know someone who does.
I'm in that category.
Yeah,
I'm in that 42%.
49, I think it was.
Oh, I thought you said 42.
Close enough. You've still got these tattoos that you don't like, and over the years you've had them lasered up and down, and slowly but surely they've faded, but you haven't completely washed them clean off your body
No,
yet.
not yet.
It takes a while. It's more of a process than it is getting the tattoo.
Is it really that bad?
Oh, yeah, you got to go multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Over the course of months.
I have pretty simple tattoos that just took a couple hours tops, right? But yeah, I've spent hours under the laser, and it hurts way more than the tattoo.
Would you go this route? Would you try this? PetSmart. They got a new contest cooking. They're looking to give 5 lucky people free tattoos. And the idea is that you're covering up an old one that sucks with a tattoo of your pet.
Yeah, the tattoo redo, they're calling it. And my wife would be a candidate. She wants to get she was looking to get a nose print of one of our dogs he's very old. We don't know how much longer we have with them. She wants a nose print, and she bought a nose print kit with the idea, we'll get the nose print, bring it to the tattoo shop, and then she'll get this tattoo. And it could probably go over, once she doesn't care about it anymore. But the problem is, and I think I've brought this up before, it looks like a set of testicles.
Oh.
I mean, it doesn't look like a dog's snout at all. We've tried multiple times. When you look at it, it looks like balls, pure balls on this thing. Like somebody teabagged her.
Have you seen the ones with the paw print, though? I feel like that would look a little bit less testicle-y.
Probably,
It would look more paw-y.
Yeah,
I think.
It's just a lot bigger. He's a big dog.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah, you're gonna like a full-on fist on
so
you.
I think his paws are probably bigger than my hands.
Yeah, she would have a back tat at that point.
I got to look this up. I got to look up dog nose print tattoo.
Because I have a paw print of my dog Tori Joe that I have. That I don't know if I'll ever get it tattooed, but it'll be something to have. When she crosses that bridge.
You have a what?
Same thing as Josh. I get you got it's like a little paw print thing. You can just get an imprint of the dog's paw and ink on a piece of paper.
Yeah. This dog is still living?
Yeah, she's 17 and a half now.
Because I've got a couple of paw prints from dead dogs. They started offering that up a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was totally unaware of that, but I've had a couple of dogs check out on me, and when you got them over at the vet there, once the dog is gone, I remember the first time they said, "Would you like a paw print?" And I didn't know what the hell they meant, but I said sure, just because I kind of wanted them to leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
But then they came out with this. What is it? What did you say? Like a
little ink pad type of thing.
Well, in this case, it's a cast, like a cast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We when our dog passed a couple years back, 4 years ago now, they had a paw print for us.
Yeah, it's not ink, it's a cast.
But on the ink.
Okay, I thought that was kind of creepy and hilarious that once the dog was dead, they're dipping his damn pad into, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So would you go ahead with that? Would you have your dogs tattooed on your body, Josh, to cover up the old tattoos that suck?
Like, how some people will do an image of their dog's face?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about, or
yes.
just anything?
That's what I'm picturing, the image of the actual dog.
I don't know. I don't think he'd like that. And if I did, it would be our dog that passed. That was my favorite dog ever. And so if I was going to have a tattoo of the face of a dog, it would be her.
Let me see. I'll tell you, if anyone's interested in this. I've loved all my pets. I would feel a little odd having their actual smiling, dopey face tattooed onto my body. But here's the deal. Oh, Christ, PetSmart, they got a few bucks in their pocket. They'll fly you to Los Angeles for 2 nights. They'll pay for your tattoo if, again, you get a tattoo of your pet over your bad tattoo. They're limiting the cost of the tattoo to $2,500 or less. Now, I am tattoo-less. I'm about the last guy in town that doesn't have a tattoo. 25. So my opinion might be a little off, but $2,500. That sounds like a hell of a lot of money.
Well, that's the thing.
In the tattoo world,
they're calling it a small one. You need to get a small one that's part of the fine print, $2,500 or less. $2,500 seems like a sleeve to me.
Yeah, that can go a long way.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't think I paid more than $200 for any of mine. And maybe when you look at it, you understand. Well, you might say, that guy didn't even pay $200 for one of those.
He probably should have paid you $200.
$2,500 sounds like a lot of money in the tattoo world. So you got to go to their website, send in a photo of your old tattoo and the pet that you want put in its place. That all sounds like a hell of a deal.
I'm not trying to be a wiener here, but
we know you're never trying to be a wiener.
I'm not, but I might come across as a wiener.
Go ahead.
That would be cool. PetSmart, nice thing they're doing, the tattoo redo. You cover up something you don't like, you get a nice picture of your dog.
Mm-hmm.
The part about flying to Los Angeles and dealing with a Los Angeles business owner, I'm out. Yeah. Why can't I just do it here? Why can't they get a tattoo person here?
I didn't consider that.
And I'm not trying to be ungrateful or a dick about it.
No.
That means nothing to me. I'd love to give that away to someone who would appreciate 2 nights outside of the state of Minnesota.
Good call. Mm-hmm. I didn't consider that, but...
I hope I never spend 1 night out of the state of Minnesota ever again.
Right. I don't need to deal with some L.A. douchebag.
No.
Yeah, Josh wants a tattoo house call, or they just come to you.
That's a good way to. It's a good way to. You woke me up with that comment. Yeah. Why the hell do I got to fly to like one of the worst places on planet Earth?
Can you imagine too? Yeah, just the whole process of traveling. And I know I sound like a wiener, but can you imagine too? You run into the tattoo artist out there and be like, Oh, sorry, you caught me daydreaming. I was just remembering how I tattooed Jared Leto. Have you ever heard of Jared Leto? Yeah, I gave him a tattoo.
Oh, no.
I probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah. He's not going to start with the Jared Leto stories, is he?
He's going to bring up Jared Leto.
Yeah. I don't need that aggravation. Yeah, so a couple of my dogs, they died, and then they slapped their dead paw into some kind of paper mache type, and then they gave me these casts that I have at the house. I told you the story about the last dog that I had die on me. Boy, she was tough, and she fought like hell over at the vet's office, but eventually died. It was one of those deals where she was real sick, dumped her off at the vet, and it was about as emergency as you can get without going to the emergency room. And the vet calls, nice lady, wonderful vet. She calls a couple hours later, well, maybe not even that long, and says, okay, the dog is stable. It was a close one. She had all kinds of internal problems. But the vet says she's doing okay, and I think she's going to make her way out of it, right? So this was in the afternoon, and I sleep in the afternoon, so I went back to sleep. Next thing you know, the phone's ringing, and it's the vet again, and she says, the dog has flatlined, and you know how we don't love it. We don't like flatliners around here.
Heck no.
Don't be a flatliner.
Do not be a flatliner.
The vet says, the dog is flatlined. Do you want me to because they need your permission to give them the clear, pa-boom kind of a thing, right? They need your permission. I don't know if you guys know that. Mm-hmm. But the vet says, I need your permission to begin life-saving. And I said, yeah, go ahead. So I hear him in the background, give her the good stuff, pa-boom, that whatever. They gave her something, and it didn't work. So then the vet says, I need your permission to try again if you'd like me to try again. And I said, let it go. I said, you tried once, appreciate it. Let her walk into the light. Okay. So, terrible. Sad. She was a nice puppy. So now it's time to go pick her up. We had to go into the vet to sign some papers or whatever, and then they'll handle it from there and give you the bucket of ashes and whatnot. But we had to go and sign some papers. And when we got there, they said, your dog is in this room over here if you'd like to see her one more time before we send her off to the cremator or whatever the term is. And we said, sure. That sounds nice. Thank you. What I didn't expect was that the dog would have the exact facial expression, at least must have been how it played out. The dog had the same facial expression still on its mug that it had when it died. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I expected that they would maybe wipe the eyes closed like you see in the movies and straighten out. No, the dog had this expression on its face. Ow! Ah!
Like Han Solo in Carbonite.
Yeah!
That's terrible.
Yeah!
I feel bad laughing, but it's funny to picture.
Well, I mean, I'm not bringing it up to get sympathy because it is funny. I walked in and said, Jesus, criminy. That's horrifying. The dog was literally going, ah!
Yeah, you'd think they would pretty it up a little bit because that's a tough time for a dog owner.
Her tongue was hanging down onto the floor. I thought, this is ugly.
See if I can aggravate anybody with this. That's your fur baby.
You're a dog dad, man. That must have been tough on you.
People are texting in on the cost of a sleeve tattoo. So there's a couple of people that said $2,500 is about right. One person said they got their whole arm done for less than $2,500. But Snot Rocket Jesus, love Snot Rocket Jesus, said a quarter of her left arm was $5,000 in ink alone, but hey, it lasts forever, smiley face.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like anything. It depends on where you go, the quality of the tattoo, the reputation of the place.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. Hey, we should holler out a quick thank you to a couple of listeners here. God, our listeners are cool people. Naughty Insurance Agent Jesus and Andover Husky Jesus. Wapple, did you see this yet?
Yeah, I did. I was the one that brought it in. They came to the well last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you had a bar gig last night.
Yeah, I did.
These derelicts showed up.
It was easy to spot them because they're the only people there, right?
Yeah, it was.
You're there. These two guys are there, and a bartender, and that's it. They handed you this.
Yes.
Okay. They gifted, it says to Wappo and Nick. Maybe we I don't know. I don't know.
Weekdays and weekends to trade off.
I don't know how we're going to split.
There's going to be a custody battle.
We'll take our shirts off and then we'll wrestle.
We could do that. I don't know how we're going to split a photograph, but they gifted us an autographed, sexy bikini photograph of former WWE superstar Tori Wilson. And she just looks stunning in this picture. Thank you very much.
She is tough to look at.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Naughty Insurance Agent Jesus and Andover Husky Jesus. I don't think we're able to put this up in the studio anymore.
I don't think so. I was thinking of that too. I was like, we can't hang that anymore.
There was a time when we could hang things like this in the studio, but no more. So we'll have to split it. Yeah, we'll become, I don't know, co-parents? What to...
Oh, yeah.
Eskimo brothers.
We'll become Eskimo brothers.
You'll become Eskimo brothers.
Tori Wilson.
Yeah, he said that he got it from Sean at Fan HQ.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, he won. I guess he won like an auction or something for it.
If I could look like a guy we know, Sean would be at the top of the list.
Sean's a handsome, cool, hip-looking guy.
He looks like just a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
A little bit of a rock star.
Absolutely. They do great work over there at Fan HQ. Sean's a great guy. Okay, so thank you. What a great picture of Tori Wilson. I just thought of how we can use this picture. And don't get any funny ideas.
I was going to say I had a couple ideas.
Don't get any. Didn't she used to date Alex Rodriguez?
Boy, that sounds...
Or is that the liquor talking?
There's something there.
Someone did.
Someone?
Are you sure? Like you're saying another person?
Well, I was thinking maybe Kelly or, one of the other divas.
No, I hear you because, you lose track of stuff like this. I swear to God.
Yeah, you're right. Alex, A-Rod and Tori Wilson shacked up from 2011 to 2014.
He had 3 years with her? Mm-hmm. What a pimp. Now, I'm not trying to start trouble because, as I've mentioned before on this show, I've grown to like Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, me too.
And if we ever see him at a Timberwolves game again, we just, Wapple, you and I can just kind of wave this in front of his face.
Dude.
We wave this hot picture of his ex-girlfriend, Tori Wilson, right in his face.
Oh, that's what we should do at the next Timberwolves game. Get one of those giant cardboard cutouts of her.
We blow it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see what they have, like a big Nas Reed head or something like that? You get one of Tori Wilson.
You have one of Tori Wilson and I'll have one of A-Rod in the crowd.
We can make them kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a life. For 3 years, he dated Tori Wilson. What a life, Cubby.
I'm surprised it lasted that long with his history. How does he have the time? If you look up his dating history, it's insane.
Yeah.
If I were Jerry Lawler right now, I'd say, puppies. How about that?
A-Rod's dating history is like if you just Google, name me the hottest chicks of all time.
Mm-hmm. Well, give me a rundown. This will be fun. And again, we're not trying to, how could, hopefully no one assumes we're making fun of the guy. How could we make fun of him when we're discussing his track record?
All right, so
it's more envy.
It's so according to a quick, you never know, right? This is just the first thing that popped.
I bet he would enjoy hearing this roster, just bringing back all the memories, you know what I mean?
Jennifer Lopez.
All right then.
Obviously.
See? I'll tell you what right now, that's a hell of a deal right there.
She'd be our Taylor Swift, wouldn't she? If he was still with her and he ends up owning the Timberwolves. She'd be the one they'd show and talk about J-Lo all the time. She's from the block, Jennifer Lopez.
Oh.
Madonna. Cameron Diaz.
Hang on, just go slow. Go slow. Madonna.
Yeah.
Really?
Again, I don't.
No.
This is the first thing that popped up.
We get it. No one's etching no one's etching this in stone. There was a time when Madonna took your breath away.
Oh yeah.
And then you said Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz.
She is something. Yeah.
The aforementioned Tori Wilson.
All right.
Kate Hudson.
Whoa.
Okay, now I can't picture who that is. Kate Hudson. Hudson. Oh,
Really?
Christ. Is that Goldie Hawn's daughter?
Yes.
She is one of my favorites. Oh, God help us.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's quite attractive.
I'm trying to think of the last movie I saw her in, but I could, just like her mother, Goldie Hawn, I could watch her do anything. Anything.
You probably don't know who this is, but maybe you've heard the name Bethany Frankel.
Never once. Is that Al Franken's daughter?
No, Frankel. So
because if you know what Al Franken looks like, I bet any offspring of his. Anyway, go ahead.
I think she's a Real Housewives star.
Yeah, she was one of the Real Housewives of New York City.
Did you ever watch the Real Housewives of New York City, Josh?
Not my thing.
Oh,
not my thing. Let's see. Catherine Paget.
Paget.
If
Don't
I'm
know.
pronouncing that right, Paget. I'm not a fitness influencer.
Oh, a fitness influencer. I was just reading about influencers earlier. I was wildly aggravated, as you might imagine. Okay.
Let's see. I think that's probably everyone you may have heard of.
I see Demi Moore on one list.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't have that on this one.
Oh, Julianne Hough?
I don't know what that means.
Know the name.
Yeah, very pretty dancer, singer, actress type.
All right, now do Jeter.
Well, I know he dated Minka Kelly, which is pretty something to be jealous about.
I don't know what a Minka Kelly is.
Yeah, who's that?
She was in the show Friday Night Lights, actress, very, very pretty.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And if you Google her, you won't be upset with yourself.
Now do Clooney.
Oh, Stacy Keibler.
Oh, whoa.
Take it easy. Wapple just
Who
fell.
are we talking about? A-Rod, or are we talking about
Clooney.
Oh, Clooney.
Wapple fell off his high chair.
Yeah.
When you said Stacy Keibler.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
How'd you type Clooney so fast? That's impressive.
Well, I just knew that they dated.
Oh, you can do that off the top of your head.
Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler, same break. Whoa.
Yeah. That'll overheat a player.
Are you going to be all right?
Yeah, I'm hot. I'm flushed in the face.
Skydive Jesus has texted the program. Skydive Jesus says this about Alex Rodriguez. The collection of photos on his cell phone has got to be worth millions. Millions.
Boy, I'll bet maybe that's what he'll leave. That'll leave his offspring. You know, they can sell that, and nobody will have to work in his family for generations.
Wow, this is great. This is great information from a member of our listening audience. I don't have a name connected to the text, but they say, well, here's a question from Beef Cannon Jesus first. Is Stacy Keibler related to Cliff Keibler? I don't think so. Back to this random number. Kate Hudson these days, the daughter of Goldie Hawn, who both of them, they are so beautiful. Kate Hudson makes music these days. She makes disco-style music.
Well, I knew she was behind the Fabletics line of clothing, like the
Fabletics line of clothing.
The fancy workout clothes.
Okay,
I believe that's when she started.
I don't know those.
I actually do.
Clothes.
Oh yeah, she did. She did put out a couple songs
She
this year.
put out a song or two.
Yeah, I swear we played that when it first came out. Maybe I still have it.
Oh, really? You think we played it and I just forgot?
Yeah.
I'm forgetting more and more. There's a bad old movie where Kate Hudson runs around on the ocean with
Fool's Gold.
Mark McConaughey. What the hell's his name again?
Matthew McConaughey.
Huh?
Matthew.
Fool's Gold?
Yep.
That's kind of bad.
But they didn't spend a lot of budget on costumes because they didn't wear many clothes. in that movie.
Never heard of it. Fool's Gold.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Is it? But Donald Sutherland's in it. He's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it's mostly
Mindless.
dumb.
He's good in Kung Fu Panda.
Never saw it.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh,
Yes.
That's the thing.
Is that good?
Oh,
What?
yeah, they are great movies.
When I think
Jack
Kate
Black.
Hudson, I want it to be an animated movie.
What? It's a cartoon you're talking about?
Yeah, it's with Jack Black.
I'm
It's
trying
a
to
fighting
put
panda.
other than that Fool's Gold, I'm trying to put together one movie where I saw Kate, but her mother, of course, I've watched all of her mother's movies.
She was good in the new Glass Onions. Or the Glass Onions Knives Out.
Oh, yeah.
The Beastie Boys used to say glass onions. That
Those
funky.
glass
Did you ever see
onions.
Almost Famous?
I love that movie.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one where I and most other folks, I think, first got a dose of that Kate Hudson. Sure, Almost Famous. That's a fun movie.
Played Penny Lane.
Right. You're right about that.
Did you ever see You, Me, and Dupree?
No. No. I heard it was a brutal waste of an hour and 45. So.
Yeah, you got that right.
Nope. You, Me, and Dupree. I somehow skipped out on that one.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Never saw it.
Another one with McConaughey.
Never saw it. You guys see that Iron Claw movie?
Oh, love it.
All right, so I'll keep this Tori Wilson photograph here on my side of the board, my side of the room. Wapple, at 7:30 it becomes yours. So that way we have a clean split.
Well, where does it go overnight?
We'll discuss that. We'll have contractual conversation.
You should write something up.
A contract signing.
If I need a pick-me-up, can I just kind of walk over there, look at it, get a smile on my face, and come back over here?
No, you cannot.
And
No.
just because, remember, we don't let you in our studio.
Oh,
That's the only
And
reason.
speaking of, I don't know if I want to be in the same studio as Wapple while that picture's in front of him.
Many years ago, we got yelled at because we had a Britney Spears poster hanging in this studio, didn't we, Josh?
We did.
Was that it? I think there was.
No, there was like a wrestling one, where like an extreme wrestling where people had staples in their heads and stuff like that. And there was a lot of blood.
See, we said a few minutes ago we're really no longer allowed to hang these types of photos at our studio, and that's fine. I get it. I totally get it. But years ago, when things were a lot more lawless, I remember we had a Britney Spears poster, and her jeans were hung so low on her hips. It was just the sexiest photo ever of Britney Spears. And right next to it, we had a poster advertising Little People Wrestling. This group of little people came into the studio to promote their show, and the posters that they were passing around town were so violent, it would almost make you sick. They were just pouring blood, staples in their heads and chairs being rung upside there. It was just the grossest. So we had those side by side, and someone in the building came in here to do something, came into our studio to do some kind of work, and complained that you should go into Nick and Josh's studio. All it is sex and violence.
A lot of those we didn't even put up. We'd come in the next day and promotions put it in, because those wrestlers, we had them in studio a couple times. I guess they signed a poster, and
Right.
our promotions people put it up.
There were gifts from our promotions department.
I don't think I ever put up one thing in this room.
But we were labeled as these sick, twisted characters. Those were fun times. I still have that poster. I do. I brought it when we got yelled at. I took it off this wall and I put it up in my garage.
Which one? The wrestling one or the Britney Spears?
I'm sorry. The bloody wrestling one. Yeah. Sorry,
that was a cool poster.
Yeah. I don't think the dude on the poster, he didn't make it through the night. He died that night.
Those guys were intense.
Yes, they were.
Really intense. That was fun having him in.
Yeah, he didn't make it through the night. All right, here we go. I don't know if we got anything left, but it is Wednesday. We'll try to keep her going for you. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder going to duck in later. We'll get her done. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back.
Foligno, our last talk.
I forgot.
Very last talk with them for the season.
We start talking about hip hugger jeans on Britney Spears and whatnot. I'm not.
Forget about Marcus Foligno. He's gorgeous in his own way.
He's a cute guy.
I bet you could buy a poster of him.
He thinks he's cute. Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot. At 7:30, when we get Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver in the mix, Marcus Foligno from the Man Bear Pigs will also be joining us. So we got things to do. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
What companies would you want to work for? Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the prestigious Just Capital 2024 seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 in the banking industry and #1 for their ongoing commitment to workers, offering best-in-class benefits, including a minimum wage of $25 an hour by 2025. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, you know, we were coming off like big dumb animals a little earlier. We were talking about Alex Rodriguez's dating history. Impressive, to say the least. I got a couple text messages from our brilliant listening audience, telling me that the all-time dating history king is that little folk song singer dork John Mayers.
He does have an impressive list.
So I looked it up. I'm going to roll these your way. Not everybody I'm familiar with, but just in case you are. John Mayers, Natalie Morales, Katie,
Who is that?
She's an actress. I have no idea.
Player or something?
She's a tennis player actress.
I don't know. Sounds like a tennis player to me.
Katie Perry, Renee Zellweger, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian, Rena Hammer, MC Hammer's oldest daughter, Sheena Marie, Jennifer Aniston, again with this Minka Kelly, Jessica Simpson, I don't know what it means to be Rona Mitra, but maybe you do, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Vanessa Carlton.
My goodness.
Renee Zellweger.
Good for him.
What did you say, Wapple?
Renee Zellweger?
Yeah, I said Renee Zellweger.
I thought you left her off. My bad.
Oh, did I? Maybe I did miss.
No, you said it.
Earlier, also on this subject, I think Dana told us that Alex Rodriguez had a run at Kate Hudson at one point or another.
Yes.
The daughter of Goldie Hawn. She's an actress and absolutely gorgeous. I just love the way this is put. I got a text from a listener that says, the Scrub Bucket lead singer from the Black Crowes was dating Kate Hudson back in the day. Scrub Bucket.
Boy, back in the day, if you sneezed, that guy would blow about 10 feet away.
Dude.
I don't think he ever ate anything, except for maybe marijuana brownies or something like that.
You ain't kidding about that. My damn. And also, a little bit earlier, we were talking about dogs and our dogs that have died. And I got a text from Delivering the Big Load Jesus. He wants a shout out for Chloe the Magnum Wiener dog. This past weekend, she checked out.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
That's always a drag. All right. Stupid news for today. And what a way to get started here. Toyota had a slogan back in the day that went like this here. I love what you do for me, Toyota. It went just like that. They had another one even farther back in time. Oh, what a feeling, they used to say. Right, Cubby?
I remember those.
Here's a guy who absolutely got some kind of feeling every time he saw one certain Toyota. And he sure as hell loved what it did for him. Or more like what he did for it. 52-year-old man in North Carolina by the name of Walter. He's been arrested. And it's been a long time approaching. He has had a years-long affair. They call it here a years-long affair with a woman's 2000 plus 8 Toyota Avalon motor vehicle.
An anal Avalon.
They're calling this another case of mechanophilia, which is a sexual attraction to machines or vehicles. Mechanophilia. The victim, along with her 2000 plus 8 Toyota Avalon, was an 82-year-old woman. 82-year-olds don't need to know these things.
No.
They don't need to know that people are orgasming on motor vehicles. They're on their way out.
She should have lived her whole life not knowing that.
Right.
Especially to her car.
Let them know.
Let
them believe that the world is still an honest and innocent place. So, An 82-year-old woman owned that motor vehicle. She said several years ago she started noticing fluids on her car.
Oh,
That's not bird poop.
Yeah, you're praying for a radiator leak. Maybe an oil leak. Please don't let that be what I think it is.
There were fluids. She took it into her neighborhood mechanic, and the mechanic didn't have the heart to tell this woman.
Seen this a million times, lady.
Mm-hmm. Who would blame him? He didn't have the heart.
Good man right there.
She tried to put up cameras to see what was happening to her vehicle. But the pervert, well, the perp, he would move the cameras. He was sly, I guess. He could see the cameras and he would alter them. Eventually the cops put up their own surveillance equipment and he was finally arrested after he banged this car one last time this past Sunday night. Just ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. The cops say if she hadn't set the emergency brake, the car would have rolled for miles. He was just... After dude was arrested, the woman said she didn't recognize him.
Good. That would have been so much worse.
Is that my grandson?
Yeah.
This guy's looking at a lot of charges. Felony, stalking, damage to property, tampering with the vehicle. I don't know if they can get him for having his D out. I don't know. But he's in trouble. He just couldn't resist. He would pump away on that lady's Toyota like it was effing prom night.
I mean, nothing wrong with the Toyota Avalon, but there's sexier cars out there.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it My Strange Addiction? A kid had sex with his car?
Yeah.
He was like making out with the bumper.
Oh, really? I've actually never seen the show. That is a strange addiction.
I do remember a stupid news story where a guy, I didn't see video, but there was a still photo of him like laying with his legs underneath the hood of the car.
I remember that.
Okay, yep, here it is. Found him.
Yeah.
There's a television show called My Strange Addiction. For a minute there, Wapple, I thought you were ready to admit something to us. Wasn't it My Strange Addiction? And I braced myself. But you're referring to the television program.
Yep.
I've watched a few of those. I can't remember a damn thing, but... Live television can be a hell of an adventure. Things can go sideways and fast. Some F-ups are more bizarre than others. Now, check this out. A Mexican television news show, was covering that eclipse. What was that, yesterday, day before?
Day before.
And some damn how, they ended up showing a dude's testicles on the screen. A big, ugly set of nuts on live TV.
I so wish I would have seen this live. I mean, it's still good watching the video of it, but man, can you imagine just the shock? If you see, because now when you see it, you know what's happening. But if you're just like, oh, what a beautiful eclipse. Are those balls?
Not that I need to see a dirty set of testicles, but everywhere as I looked yesterday, Josh, on the internet, they blanked it out, blurred it out. I wasn't able to see the full...
Oh, yeah, I'll pull that up for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we have a blurry version on 93X.com.
I could use a big bag.
Yeah, I'm the guy for balls.
Yeah.
I can hook you up, man.
Now, just to clear things up before you start texting, the nuts that ended up on Mexican television do not belong to stupid Tommy Lee. There was a rumor going round and round it was Tommy Lee's old hanging bag. It wasn't Tommy Lee,
There are other people that pull their stuff out than Tommy Lee.
Oh, wow, Josh, that is awful. That is awful. And
they cut pretty quick. They realized pretty quick, we have been duped.
And the television news anchors, it was two gals and a guy.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing just a little play-by-play, showing various pictures of the eclipse. And then when they cut to another shot, it wasn't the sun, it was a scrotum.
And it just dips down slowly. It was very cinematic.
And you can easily see the shock on the faces of the anchors on set. At least the ladies look shocked. The guy tried to make himself look occupied.
Yeah.
As if maybe he didn't see it. I think he wanted no part of it. The godless internet has fallen in love with this pair of balls. Folks have been joking around that the big fat set of pills has done more damage to their eyesight than the actual eclipse. My eyes. My eyes! So how did this end up on television? Apparently, the TV news station asked viewers to send in personal eclipse footage, and somebody on the staff obviously didn't check ahead of time and make sure that all the footage was legit.
Tommy Lee did post a similar video on his...
Big surprise.
Yeah, and then pulled it down. I guess people were not too excited about it.
What was that? They're coming back to town, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wasn't it on their last tour where he was still pulling his dong out on stage and someone had to pull him aside and say, dude, you're 60.
Yeah, and he was doing a lot of that on social media, too.
Mm-hmm. What's the problem over there? It's not 1983 anymore, Tommy. We're not on the Sunset Strip. You're not days away from releasing Shout at the Devil. At one point or another, everybody's got to grow up.
Keep the penis away.
That's pretty gross.
It's pretty funny.
That video that you showed me, Josh.
Again, my favorite part is it just descends from the top slowly.
It does.
That person knew exactly what they're doing.
Yep.
They've got great comedic timing, and I'm so glad that video's out there. And boy, does he need to groom.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Now, do all of you remember an actress who hit it big in the 90s by the name of Tori Spelling?
Certainly.
Mm-hmm. Sure you do. Sure you do. She got famous on the old 90210 program. Not that she ever needed to go to work. Her dad, I think his name was Aaron, he was a Hollywood powerhouse, big-time producer, director, whatever kind of a guy, right? Aaron Spelling?
Yep.
He was a big shot. But eventually she got a gig. I don't know how.
That's a mystery.
Yeah.
Remains a mystery all these years later.
Never know.
I don't know how she got her foot in the door there, but she got a gig on the 90210. My sister and my friggin' wife, they'll still sit around and watch old reruns of 90210.
That's adorable.
Never saw it, just for the record, but they love that setup. And what was the other one that was similar to it?
Melrose Place?
Melrose Place. They'll sit around, and even my sister's got a kid now. 15-year-old girl. They'll all sit together and watch these shows and then talk about it like it's a... Tori Spelling, okay. So, nowadays, Tori Spelling is busy raising a pile of kids. She's raising a lot of kids. And she does this parenting when she's not getting absolutely sandblasted at the plastic surgeon's office.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Oh, my damn, has she done a number on her own mug?
Yeah.
I wish people didn't feel they needed to do that.
I noticed that when I looked her up.
I mean, she's got all the money in the world, and I don't think she got the world's best surgeon.
It looks to me as if her plastic surgeon has to have another plastic surgeon hold him in place while he applies all right, hang on to something, boys, here we go.
Or if she brought in a picture of what she'd like to look like, she accidentally grabbed a caricature from the state fair. It doesn't look natural.
It sucks. I feel bad that she thought that was necessary.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood. They're all insane. Every last one of them. Insane. So anyway, she's got her own silly podcast because no one can leave it to the professionals anymore. And she recently told whoever was listening that she has a fear of going onesies or twosies all alone on the toilet. She's afraid of it. So, her 7-year-old son watches her cut turds.
I haven't been alone, honestly. Like, I still don't poop alone. Like, Bo still stands there and stares and talks to me, like, while I'm pooping. I haven't peed alone in 18 years. I think I function better with people.
That's Tori Spelling right there from the old 902.
I think I wouldn't function well if my mom made me sit there and watch her go potty.
I think that would come up in therapy someday.
Yep.
Her kid has to sit in the bathroom while she goes pee-pee, or worse. That's a little different, right? She said she was married to some dude named Dean for 18 years. But that's over now, and it's not that Dean. Not that Dean.
Still a cool Dean, though. Dean McDermott.
I don't know who is that.
Well, maybe he's not that cool.
Oh, you know him from something?
Yeah, he's a guy.
Well, tell me about Dean McDermott.
He's like, what show? He was, what show was he on? Was it like reality TV? And I was actually thinking of, oh no, this is the guy I was thinking of when he was younger.
Okay.
Canadian guy.
Is he Canadian?
Yeah.
So she was married to this Dean guy for 18 years. But that's over. During the 18 years they were together, it was Dean's job to sit in the bathroom with her when she took a squeege or a deuce. Now it's her 7-year-old kid's problem. Come on, Dean. You agreed to that?
How does that come up?
Josh just got done saying you're cool.
Here's a picture of Dean from back in the day.
I don't remember Dean.
Cool-looking guy back then.
He was on television shows and such.
Yeah, couldn't tell you what, but
I'm disappointed in Dean that he would go along with. Well, oh, it's time for you to take a crap. Okay, just a minute. I'll come in there with you. What?
How does that start? Because you know you can't do it on like the first, second, third date. Like what date?
She must have had somebody else, right? Somebody, another trusted person, and then Dean picked up the slack.
Or again, it's Hollywood. Tori Spelling, probably because she's from Hollywood, thinks it's totally normal to ask someone to watch her have diarrhea. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole different world. The same rules don't apply over there. So Tori has 5 of those kids, a 17-year-old, 15-year-old, 12, 11, and apparently it's the 7-year-old boy who has to play bathroom attendant for his damn mom.
So a person said, going back to the plastic surgery and how it doesn't look natural, what she could have done now is the plastic surgeon could take a look at the horror of her kid's face and put that Pickle Rick says, more like Tori smelling.
You bastard.
So you're going to go in the bathroom in front of somebody or having somebody watch you. There's a singer named Meghan Trainor. She married to the kid who was the actor in the Spy Kids movies. And they have side-by-side toilets installed in their master bedroom.
It's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
it's
we
wrong.
mentioned that's a little different. I've mentioned it before. I think it's okay to have a little mystery in your relationship.
I agree, Josh. I'm with you.
You don't need to share everything.
If you're one of those couples that drop turds in front of each other, you're disgusting and you're doing it wrong. And don't even start with me. It's wrong.
Wife plowing Jesus pays the models from Pornhub to watch him go potty.
He does what now?
He pays the models on Pornhub to watch him go potty.
By the way, according to Tori Spelling, she and that Dean dude, they had a hell of an argument towards the end of their marriage where Tori threw a loaded baked potato at the sumbitch.
Oh,
I
no.
thought
She
I
did.
read something about that when I looked her up.
She threw a loaded baked potato at her ex-husband.
You know, I forget about loaded baked potatoes, but my goodness, those are good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So she's afraid of going to the bathroom by herself. And what is she, 50?
Probably at least.
It better be a crippling fear that she's dealing with because no kid should have to endure that type of thing.
Yeah, 50 right in the nose.
Balls Mahoney.
That needs to stop.
I wonder if she can FaceTime someone, or if they have to be physically.
I think they have to be there holding her non-wiping hand.
Yeah.
Imagine poor Dean getting woken up in the middle of the night because
got to take a dump, hon.
Come on, hon, let's go. It's dumping time.
Dean better not have gotten out of bed for that.
He got out of bed for that.
But like you said, though, it's Hollywood, so he might have been into it for some weird reason.
I'm sure there's people that enjoy that. Nice bonding experience.
Honey, I love you to death. I'm so glad to be here with you.
All right, we're going to get dark here now. Unless someone can tell me this is a joke. Because if it's not, this is the saddest, most disgusting, and pathetic thing I've read all week. It's beyond disturbing, if you ask me. In a place called Sierra Leone, which is apparently a West African country. I hope I have that right, because I can't say for sure. In that effing place, drug addicts are digging up graves to get high on a drug made from human bones. Dude, it's over. Just call it. If there's a God, just unleash the fury on us already, because we don't deserve to be here anymore. We've taken something wonderful, life that is, Josh, and we've effed it straight into the ground. It says here, now then, drug dealers in this Sierra Leone place have turned into grave robbers to keep up with the demands. They've gone ahead in Sierra Leone to declare a national emergency because of this. Now, I'm not sure what that involves, but it sounds negative to me. Cops are guarding cemeteries all over town. That much I do know. So here's the disgusting truth, I guess. There is a psychoactive drug in our bones, Summers. A drug called Kush is made from a variety of toxic substances, and one of its main ingredients is ground up human bone. Folks call it the zombie drug. It produces a hypnotic high which can last several hours. Effing drug-dealing derelicts have been breaking into tombs and digging up carcasses to steal skeletons, to grind up their bone. Of course, the drug is killing folks left and right. The cops are trying to keep up with this absolute insanity. Just come on. That's all I gotta say. Come on.
I've got a bone I'd like you to smoke.
You son of a bitch.
Come on now.
I would be honored if you guys would get high off my bones after I pass.
I'm not going to do it.
Why not?
Because I'm tired of everybody getting high.
That's offensive. Wait, I'm not that offended.
Are my bones not good enough for you?
Stop it.
Would you smoke Anna Nicole Smith?
Nope. I'm not smoking anybody.
No one?
Nope. They're going to steal your great-grandma's hip bone in the middle of the night and grind it up because they got to get high.
That's a level of desperation I hope I never get to. You know, that should be an anti-drug campaign.
That should be.
Dead bodies can't even rest in peace because some garbage pile needs to get effing high. Come on.
Yeah, you're right, Josh. That PSA would be more effective than cracking the egg, and this is your brain on drugs.
No, they just picture a guy, he's covered in mud, digging up a grave, shaking.
Yeah.
Just sweat just dripping down his face.
I wonder if, like, people like Wapple, who gets high, what did you say, like 4 times a day?
Yeah.
I wonder if you would produce a better high than someone like me who, I don't do drugs.
I would imagine so. And then
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah. All
Would
right.
you be like a giant edible? If it was
Wapple?
close. Yeah, if it was close enough to the last time you smoked.
You know, yesterday there was a full-on panic during a train ride over there in Scotland. The local cops got a call about an armed man riding the train. So they dropped everything, headed over to the train station. But in the end, it was just some dork dressed in a damn Star Wars stormtrooper costume. It was what they call here a Star Wars cosplayer on his way to a comic book convention.
That's funny. He chose to wear it on the way there.
The dork, when he boarded the train, from what it sounds like here, he was wearing his Imperial Stormtrooper gear. With a, quote, Scottish twist, he was also wearing a kilt. The train was forced to return to the station. The cops had to get a look at this dude to make sure he wasn't some type of dangerous maniac. He did have a fake plastic Stormtrooper gun on him to complete the outfit. Police took the guy home so he could get a bag for his fake gun so he wouldn't have to worry about anyone else he might cross paths with on his way to the effing comic book convention party. And the cops told him not to wear his full-on Stormtrooper armor on the train. He said it was the first time, the dork, it was the first time in 10 years of cosplaying that he's been approached by the police. And then he turned to his girlfriend for her to confirm that he's been cosplaying for an entire decade already. But of course, when he turned, there was no sign of a girlfriend.
It is kind of funny when those conventions are in town and you'll see a guy in a full Darth Vader costume like having a sandwich at Starbucks.
I would wait till the last second to put that on. As someone who has wore one before, the Stormtrooper outfit, it's uncomfortable, and if you got to pee, good luck. That's going to take a while.
Oh, that's so cool that you wore one.
And you know what? A lot of people can pour themselves into a Stormtrooper outfit and try to look all Stormtroopery, and they fail. Cubby knocked it out of the park.
I bet.
He looked the part.
It was expensive to Brent, but it was worth it. That was fun.
Was that a Halloween party?
It was a Halloween broadcast.
No, okay. It was a wedding reception.
It was a funeral.
It was
for a beloved coworker.
I would love it if you wore a Stormtrooper costume at my funeral.
A beloved coworker who was a Star Trek fan. I screwed it up. I thought it was Star Wars.
The only costume you've ever worn that was better than your Stormtrooper is when you showed up as Alexi Lawless or whatever that character. Legolas. From Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's
Nailed it.
Oak.
Wiener. Yes.
I was not expecting Nick to drop a U.S. soccer player name while trying to come up with the Game of Thrones character. That was impressive.
I remember that guy with the red hair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alexi Lawless. All right, we got to get going again, so let me fire this one at you. This is cute. A German art museum had to go ahead and fire one of their workers for hanging his own painting up in the museum. He thought he could sneak one in, and he might catch a big break in the business. You see what I'm saying?
You can understand.
Come on, you don't have to fire the guy.
I don't know why he got fired. Just say knock it off.
What do the kids say now? He took his shot. He shot.
You shoot your shot. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
He works at an art museum. He wants to be one of those friggin' artists. You know, nobody's looking. He hung his own painting just in case some sucker would go, hey, who the hell painted that? And they got to fire him.
That seems more like a knock it off, bro.
Yeah. I don't want to give him a hug. I feel bad for him.
He did drill a couple holes in the wall there at the museum. They're kind of pissed off at him for that.
Yeah, command strips, dude.
Well, he didn't ruin anybody else's art, did he?
Well, no, he orgasmed on some other art. He did. To create his own. No, he didn't do any harm to anybody.
Out of respect.
Dogs playing poker. My dad's old buddy who checked out years ago, he had the classic dogs playing poker painting on his wall his entire life.
That's a good one.
And it was fun every time. Mm-hmm. All right, you goofy bastard.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
The contact by Nasri to the head of Davis is unnecessary and excessive. The elbow is swung intentionally and strikes the left side of the head of Davis. Therefore, it's going to be a flagrant 2. He will be ejected. Davis will shoot 2, and we'll play from there.
Dude. SAWFT soft. What happened to Nas damn Reed last night? Are you freaking kidding me? He got ejected for that? He rested his elbow on a guy's head for a couple of seconds.
I wonder if it was a little bit of trash talk afterwards that set off the ref or what. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
These refs suck. They really do.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't really call that elbowing somebody.
No, for God's sake. Nas doesn't deserve something like that. Timberwolves, interesting game last night. They had to work their asses off to beat a bunch of JV guys, but they got the win. They got the win. Anthony Edwards scored 51 points. We'll I'm sure when Brad Ryder, Randy Shaver duck in, they're going to want to talk all about that. Edwards was having a friggin' blast last night. Big game tonight. We'll get into what's going on here in about a half hour. Twins haven't won a home game yet. They lost to the Dodgers last night 6-3. The Pigs got whooped, and that's all she wrote for the playoff chances, from what I understand. That's it.
Mathematically eliminated.
They lost to the Colorado Avalanche last night, don't you know? Marcus Foligno will be joining us at 7:30 to explain everything that went wrong this season in full step-by-step detail. Our guy, Marcus Foligno, will be with us in about a half hour. We'll take a break, come back with Josh's news report.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
The countdown is on for the 2024 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, live from Detroit, and you can attend in person for free.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
See the next NFL stars and experience the ultimate NFL fan festival, featuring live concerts, interactive games, player autographs, and more. The NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, April 25th through 27th. Visit NFL.com/draft access to register for free entry today.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Very unusual that we see a case involving the attempt to kill somebody by use of poison. We want to make sure that this case sees justice, so we will do all that we can within the confines of the criminal justice system to make sure that happens.
An engineer has been sentenced to probation after he was caught on camera trying to poison a coworker over 2 years. Married father David Zhu was charged with attempted murder in 2019 for repeatedly lacing his colleague's water bottle with cadmium over his imagined professional jealousies of the woman. The toxic cocktail was so debilitating, the victim thought she was suffering from late-stage terminal cancer. Even suffered a heart attack at one point.
God dang.
Luckily, however, the woman survived. She began experiencing symptoms in 2017 and would sporadically endure painful episodes. She was tested for food and other allergies, all of which came back negative. All the while, Zhu expressed sympathy for her plight and suggested she should go to a doctor to have some medical tests to find out what was going on. At one point, the victim gave her mother water from her tainted water bottle to make oatmeal, and both her parents suddenly fell ill. Suspecting the water was being poisoned, she set up a hidden camera at her Berkeley engineering firm and was shocked to discover on 2 occasions the, quote, highly intelligent, as he was described, Zhu, was fiddling with the bottle at her desk.
Man. Diabolical is the word that comes to mind, Cubby.
If someone's going to poison me, I kind of wish they would just get out of the way rather than a 2-year stretch of miserableness. You know?
And doctor bills?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Just give me the cyanide right out the bat in the coffee.
Yeah,
and how crazy that guy is. Like, oh man, I'm so concerned about your health. You really should get yourself checked out.
That's sick.
I don't like that.
Just stay away from a Geiger counter or whatever that does to you. The crime is one of several recent poisoning cases caught on tape. In Florida, a chemistry student injected toxins underneath the door of a neighboring family in 2022 amid a noise dispute at their apartment complex. And a California dermatologist was accused of poisoning her husband after he caught her on camera pouring Drano into his tea in 2022 as well.
Yuck.
A Salt Lake City, Utah man was arrested early Monday after he allegedly told police he released some frustration by firing over a dozen shots into his wall. The problem is his roommate was sleeping on the other side. Police were called to the West Valley home after another resident in the house heard gunshots. The first arriving officers were led to a 39-year-old man in his room in the basement. The man stated he was feeling bad about his financial situation and said he misses his child, so he decided to fire 15 rounds into the wall where his roommate sleeps on the other side.
Did he kill the guy?
Luckily, he wasn't even hit.
Jesus Christ.
Then in Connecticut, a man was rushed to a hospital after accidentally shooting himself Monday night. Police say the man was cleaning his handgun, which he thought was unloaded. It wasn't.
Idiot.
Unfortunately for him, it was loaded and fired, causing a significant gunshot wound in the man's leg. A little too close to the penis for my liking.
I hear you on that.
A short-tempered food delivery driver drove his car into a dissatisfied customer during a heated spat last week. Police said 32-year-old Wensley Volsey was making a delivery, but went to the wrong address. By the time he figured out his mistake and went to the right place, the customer was fuming that his food was late. So they got into an argument. As the victim went to the rear of the vehicle in an attempt to photograph the license plate, Volsey placed his car in reverse and intentionally struck the victim and then fled the scene. Cops got a description of the culprit and picked him up on Friday. The victim only suffered minor injuries.
That sounds like a total mess.
They both got tempers.
Right.
Unfortunately, one guy had a car. A driver led police on a 45-minute chase on New York's Long Island, drove off a 100-foot cliff into Long Island Sound, and survived, police said.
Is that right?
Monday's chase started when officers responded to a domestic violence call. The man drove off and reached speeds of about 100 miles an hour as he crossed back and forth across eastern Long Island. Then he began heading toward the water and didn't stop. Never hits the brakes, never slows down, hits an embankment at the end of the street, goes airborne over the bluff, off the beach into Long Island Sound, landing 3 to 5 feet in the water, a police spokesperson said. Officers dived in and pulled the driver out and arrested him. He complained of a little bit of pain but had no injuries.
I got a little bit of a cramp. I got a cramp. It feels kind of like a cramp in my left thigh. I'll tell you what, when you fall 100 feet in a motor vehicle, you've got time to think about it, don't you?
Yeah, you got a couple of long screams you can probably get in, a deep breath in between.
I can't even effing imagine.
A woman in Oklahoma claimed a vehicle she's accused of stealing was a tip from a former Waffle House customer. That's a generous tip.
Oh, I see. Sure.
Police were able to stop the Jeep and speak with the driver, who they identified as Angela Harrison. Harrison told the cops she was at a gas station an hour earlier, where she ran into a former customer of hers from when she worked at a Waffle House. She told police the man gave her $10 in cash and the Jeep as a gift because her 53rd birthday is coming up in a few weeks. The Jeep, however, was reported stolen before Christmas. Detectives also had a photo of Harrison driving that Jeep January 14th. She identified herself in the photo, but couldn't explain why she was driving the Jeep back on January 14th after she claimed the vehicle was gifted to her only an hour earlier.
Right.
Tulsa police said the owner of the Jeep died last year, so the vehicle was returned to his family. The mugshot's pretty good. You can see it on 93x.com. She has a face like, I don't want to go to jail.
Or it totally does.
There's some pictures of Dave Mustaine of Megadeth that look very similar to the look she's got on her face. That grimace.
A snarled upper lip kind of a thing.
She's got a bit of a grimace. Look at that.
That is very much 1989 Dave Mustaine right there. Wow, is she a keeper? Folks got to see this mugshot. Go to our web. Did you say it was on the website?
I did, yeah.
She's one of those folks who is convinced everyone else in the entire world is an absolute imbecile. To come up with that story, the vehicle I'm driving was a tip.
At a gas station from a former customer.
Yeah, the customer's just there, you know what? F it, I'm going to walk home. Take my car. Yeah. Great service.
I take $10 too.
She looks, you're correct with the Mustaine. She looks like she's about ready to sing In My Darkest Hour right there in that photograph.
52-year-old Jamie Knoll, a former reality television sheriff and volunteer firefighter from Indiana, is facing a slew of felony charges for allegedly stealing at least $5 million in taxpayer money.
Mr. Knoll had allegedly taken millions of dollars from the Firefighters Association.
They are in disbelief. He completely took advantage of them.
Knoll and his family are accused of stealing public funds, with his wife and daughter facing theft and tax evasion charges as well. Apparently, they misused the fire department's credit cards. The investigation into Knoll's wrongdoing includes allegations of ordering subordinates to work on personal property while on duty for the sheriff's department. He allegedly spent large sums of money from the Township Volunteer Firefighters Association on vacations and luxury items, including more than 130 luxury vehicles, tanning salons, plastic surgeries, vape products, expensive clothing, Netflix subscriptions, and more than 24 shipping containers, a forklift, and even a train on his property. State investigators are also looking into Knoll's potential misuse of fire agency funds to purchase an airplane and military surplus equipment, as well as his alleged affair with a council member, and even using fire department funds to pay child support. Knoll, who appeared on the A&E show 60 Days In 2016 and 2017, has pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Dude bought himself a forklift and a train?
Yeah, everything. $5 million.
How much money did this fire department have?
Yeah, just between a couple of different sources of thievery, he got about $5 million. In similar news out of Minnesota, a Hugo man admitted to embezzling over $1.3 million from a truck repair company where he worked. And he spent that money on gambling trips to Vegas, some luxury cars, and a boat. The 55-year-old allegedly ran the scheme from 2015 through 2022 while working for a business in Inver Grove Heights.
How many of these folks do you think, Josh, they know the clock is ticking from the moment they start stealing this money, and they just figure, I'm going to let her buck. I'm going to get my money's worth, and you know what I'm saying?
Have my fun for a while.
Because we often will say, well, how stupid to think you're going to get away with that. How many of them really think they're going to get away with that, and how many of them just say, F it, I know I'm going to be busted at one point or another. I'm just going to go bananas until then.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder. I mean, I know somebody who went to jail for embezzlement, and
did they know all along that the clock was ticking?
Nope.
No.
They were too full of themselves to think they'd ever get caught.
There you go.
Like, they're a genius. Everybody else is pretty dumb.
Yep.
Never going to catch me.
That's a common trait with those scamsters, is they're convinced, like I said earlier about Dave Mustaine, they're convinced that they're brilliant and everyone else is a moron.
I also wonder, too, if some of them like, well, I'll just do it this once, just a tiny amount, and then I'll be done. Then they go, well, that was pretty easy. I could probably roll the dice again here.
That's like me when I open a can of Pringles.
Right, and then it just keeps snowballing. The Pringles are gone, and so is all the money.
Yeah, I got them the first time. Let's see if they get me this time, kind of an attitude.
This is pretty crazy. A former hospital administrator pled guilty to stealing his former colleague's identity for 3 decades, which led to the victim getting thrown into a mental hospital. 58-year-old Matthew Kieran stole a hot dog vendor named William Woods' identity in the late 1980s while the pair worked together in Albuquerque. Between August 2016 and May 2022, Kieran's, who most recently resided in Wisconsin, obtained 8 loans worth more than $200,000 from credit unions in northern Iowa using Woods' name, birth date, and social security number. Woods ended up tossed in a Los Angeles County jail because he entered a bank in California and reported to the branch manager someone had recently run up large amounts of debt in his name. And despite presenting his valid social security card and identification, the bank called police, and Woods was arrested. He was booked on 2 felony counts because when police contacted Kieran's about Woods' efforts to close the account, he told cops he hadn't authorized anyone in California to access those accounts and then faxed the LAPD fake documents. That led to Woods being found not fit for trial and ordered to enter a mental health hospital to take drugs as well. In total, Kieran's victims spent 428 days in county jail, 147 days in a mental hospital as a result of the false reports, the U.S. Attorney's Office said. Following his arrest, Woods attempted to regain his his release. He attempted to regain his identity numerous times, and Kieran's made multiple false reports with Wisconsin and California police to keep that man away. During that time, Kieran's insisted Woods was crazy and needed help and should be locked up. Then, for several months, detectives unraveled Kieran's scheme, including through DNA evidence that found he had no biological connection to Woods' father in Kentucky. After being pressured about that DNA evidence, Kieran's admitted to the scheme and to providing police with false documents.
You know, I read that story. Basically, imagine someone stealing your identity and living a great life for 30 years, and you know that someone has stolen your identity. You're trying to tell anyone who will listen, everyone thinks you're crazy. I don't know how you get through that without, you know what I mean, coming completely uncorked and hurting people or something. You see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
You wonder, you got 3 decades to think about this. And no one's believing you. At one point, I think if it were me, I'd wonder, am I the guy? Wait,
yeah.
Is he the real guy? Nobody believes I am who I am. That I can't even imagine what this guy went through. And then being thrown in a mental hospital, they say, well, he's crazy. He keeps saying he's this dude.
They put him in the nut hut.
It's like a movie.
Well, you know what? It reminded me of that Ben Affleck movie, the tall girl, the drunk girl, my girl, your
Gone Girl?
Gone Girl. It reminded me of that Ben Affleck movie where he's telling the stinking truth, right? And no one will believe him. That movie made me want to throw a beer bottle across the room. You know what I mean?
I loved that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. But the character that Affleck played, I don't know how the guy kept from, like I said, just wiping out a room full of innocent people.
Yeah.
Just out of straight frustration.
Police in Louisiana are asking for the public's help in finding a naked woman who reportedly chased a man out of the woods while wielding an axe at a campsite. Arguing he wasn't subject to arrest, a drunken Florida man found sitting naked in a garbage can told police he was allowed to be drunk and disorderly and sit naked in a trash can on a public sidewalk. Cops didn't agree. They alleged 35-year-old Wiley Weeks was wasted, unsteady on his feet, and smelled of booze when they discovered him late Saturday evening on a downtown street. He was extricated from the trash can and arrested for disorderly intoxication and resisting an officer without violence. And despite claiming he couldn't be punished for his actions, he was. And he pled guilty to both counts and was fined about $500.
He thought he was kind of above all this?
I guess.
Okay.
And it's by far the garbage guy's first run-in with the law. In fact, his rap sheet overflows with theft, disorderly conduct, panhandling, criminal mischief, and other misdemeanor convictions. And he must have a thing for getting naked in public. This time he did it with a friend. On a prior bust, after Weeks and a friend were spotted drunk and naked walking on a Tampa street when they left a bar, they told cops they thought it would be funny to strip off their clothes. And a naked man was arrested in New Mexico after allegedly pulling a light fixture off a home and assaulting a police officer Saturday at about 10 p.m. Court documents reported the 24-year-old arrived at the home naked and began banging on the door. The homeowner told the nude dude to leave the property, and that's when he allegedly became disorderly, ripping the light fixture off the front porch and breaking the glass door by throwing a rock at it. He's also accused of breaking the front window with his hands. Owie. When officers arrived at the scene, they shined their spotlight on him, no doubt illuminating his genitals. He then ran toward a patrol vehicle and grabbed an officer by the front of the vest, pulling on it twice. He also injured one of the officers by grabbing her left hand and refusing to let go until she hit him in the face several times.
That's wild, man. Right there.
Debuting tonight on Prime Video, Fallout Season 1. Fallout joins the long list of popular video games that have recently received TV series adaptations like The Last of Us, Twisted Metal, and Halo, just to name a few. Created by the duo from Westworld, the series follows a group of survivors as they leave their bunkers roughly 200 years after a nuclear disaster.
200?
The Fallout video game came out in 1997 and has since released 4 games and 7 spin-offs. There is a 5th game in the works.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, people love those games.
Games are so much fun.
They
Yeah.
sat there for 200 years before they came out. Talk about some indecision right there, my God.
And maybe some inbreeding, I'd imagine.
You got to do what you got to do.
And Chucky returns tonight on Sci-Fi and USA. Ray in the new Star Wars movies, Daisy Ridley, 32 today. Charlie Hunnam, Jax on Sons of Anarchy, 44. And Jim Hopper on Stranger Things. David Harbour, who's also the star of the Hellboy remake, celebrates his 49th today. Happy 30th to Dumbass Welder Jesus from Millennial Steel Cutter Jesus, who called him the best coworker ever because they can talk about their crap job and kitties. Happy birthday to The Mechanic from the Snow Sports Saturday Come On crew. Happy 53rd to Tracy from her son Hatch Daddy Jesus and her husband Howard. And happy birthday to our super sweet co-worker Kursky. That's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
And you guys head out tonight. You're going up against Denver tomorrow. Everyone will be watching. You guys are battling for that top spot in the West. Are you going to have anything left after this huge game to take on these Denver Nuggets?
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! That was funny last night, the way A1 from Day One responded to that question. We're going to get to the Timberwolves here pretty quickly, but the crowd got a kick out of that. He got a nice pop from that. Are you going to have enough for tonight's game against Denver? Hell yeah! He says. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here we go, huh?
Yeah.
You know, this is it right here. In about 20 minutes or so, we're going to drag Marcus Foligno's carcass into this mix for our weekly Wild update. The boys were mathematically eliminated from the playoff last night. We'll talk about that when we talk to Marcus. But I did receive a text from a listener a little earlier that said, hey, psst, if you want to poke the bear, you can remind people that Ryan Suter is going to be in the playoffs this season. Again. That was a lot of fun last season, wasn't it? When Ryan Suter suddenly became a villain?
Yeah.
I got a kick out of that.
I didn't quite understand that.
Yeah, we kind of turned him into one.
Yeah,
very quickly. It didn't take long.
Yeah, he dumps a couple of cross checks into the lower back of the Russian kid, and suddenly he's Dr. Hook Tim McCracken. You know, I got a kick out of that. But that's a funny text. If you want to poke the bear. We never got a word on WrestleMania over the weekend, did we?
No. I'm starting to worry a little bit the longer this is taking.
Because WrestleMania took place over the weekend, and we always thought, well, this is when they announce next year's location. We've talked a few times about how it's looking. We never got a word.
If it goes to Vegas, oh boy.
Everything's moving to Vegas.
Sad waffle. Oh, no.
Everything, it would make sense because everything's going to Vegas.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves.
That just gives you a reason to go to Vegas, Waffle.
I have never been.
There you go.
Oh, man.
The Raiders, the Athletics, the Timberwolves, everyone's going to Vegas.
All wrestling fans converging on Vegas. That's going to be an ugly weekend.
Oh, God.
Maybe in the old days. Not anymore. It's all 9-year-olds now. You know what I'm saying?
Not.
Yeah, what? Television wrestling? WWE?
You think that's all the fans that show up are 9-year-olds?
Or it's a hell of a lot more now than there was in 1991, I'll tell you that. It's a family show now.
Well, somebody's got to get the 9-year-olds there.
Right. Why are you snapping at me, Randy Shaver, like you know Dick Tracy about television wrestling? Why are you snapping at me?
I'm just saying, every time I watch television wrestling, I don't really see a lot of I mean, I do. I see some, but I don't. It's not like the whole crowd is.
It's a kid show now.
Young.
It's a kid show. But
you're talking about the production of the show. You're not talking about the fans, or are you talking about both?
It's a family, kid-oriented type of a thing now. Yes, I'm talking about the whole works.
Seems like it's going a little the opposite way now, though.
Yeah, they're kind of turning back towards the Attitude Era.
Oh, I've heard that 1,000 times.
Well, I watched WrestleMania. It definitely, you could tell the difference.
Oh, yeah, they're cussing F-bombs in the ring and stuff.
It's different than it's been.
Like Stephanie McMahon said, welcome to the Paul Levesque era of WWE. She even sounded like her dad.
I was going to say, she
did.
Her voice sounds terrible.
The Paul Levesque era.
Yep. A lot of wrestlers mentioned that, too. You can tell that nobody's too sad about Vinnie Mac not being around anymore.
Well, there you go. And before we get into, the Wolves and everything, did we put the video of this car crash up on our website?
We did.
And not like a car crash like from 35W. I'm talking about a race in New Zealand. You got to see this if you got access to 93x.com. What style of racing was this? I don't have was it like a dirt track? I couldn't tell by looking at the video.
Yes, it was a dirt track.
At
least I think that's a dirt track.
A car launched itself into the bleachers.
Okay, no, it's not a dirt track.
Okay. Up over the fence and into an entire, not a tire, not a steering wheel, the whole damn thing. And somehow, no one was murdered.
Does a fan get to take that whole car home?
Souvenir?
Finders keepers.
Isn't that the rules, Wapple?
Yeah, if it lands in your lap, you should be able to keep it.
Yeah.
You got to see this.
Well, first of all, did anybody get hurt in the stand? It doesn't look like there's a lot of people there.
No, nobody got hurt.
Luckily,
That's
I don't
amazing.
know. They didn't sell a lot of tickets to this friggin' show.
Now they will.
Now they probably will. Luckily, it was a slow night at the track in New Zealand when this car.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you effing believe that,
It hits
Randy
the power
Shaver?
cable and everything.
I think they need to raise the fence higher. That would be number one. That's just a freak accident, right? I mean, to be on top of the other car, and then the other car is rolling, which launches you up in the air. That's pretty freak.
Well, now I can't tell what kind of track that is. That's an amazing video.
Whatever.
It's a dirt track.
It is an amazing video. Josh,
there's people right around there, too.
Yes,
I mean,
there
it's
are.
amazing nobody got hit.
God dang. All right. Timberwolves had to work a little harder than maybe you thought they would to beat a club with only 15 wins on the season last night, but all that matters is that they got the win, and Anthony Edwards scored a career-high 51 points. That
30
was
in the second half.
Yeah.
Which is also a career high for him.
That was fun to watch.
He put them on their back in the second half last night and said, we're not going to lose this game. We can't lose this game. We can't go into Denver tonight and not be tied. And he basically showed why he is the player that he is. This was a if you weren't a believer before about Anthony Edwards, I think last night was proof that this kid is on a whole different level than anybody else right now.
You know, the fellas were down 21 points early in the ball game. Not that 20 points means anything in today's NBA. It doesn't. Especially when you got 3 quarters to try to catch up.
Right. Especially when defense is optional for the Washington Wizards. But, yeah.
So, I mean, 20 years ago we might have thought, oh my God, they came back from 20. It's not a big deal anymore. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had a great game, 23 points. Rudy Gobert had a great game.
Yep.
But Edwards made a comment after the game saying that head coach Chris Finch hauled him into the office a couple days ago and said, look, man, we got this Washington game. We need to win it. You need to come ready to play, and you can't treat it like any other game. So maybe A1 got a little extra motivation from the coach.
I'm sure he reminded him of that conversation after the slow start, and they're down by 20. He probably looked at him and gave him that dad look like, I told you we can't have this happen to us. Because the second half, he was a totally different player. He was just phenomenal in the second half.
You're right about that. Finch does give out a lot of dad looks.
Yeah, he does.
When the team starts turning the ball over and taking silly shots with a hell of a lot of shot clock left, he does dump a dad look on them.
And he's not afraid to call his players out either. He's not afraid in the post-game news conference to say what's on his mind. He doesn't do it a lot, right? But when he does, I think it hits home for these players.
You know what I got I get a kick out of from Chris Finch? He's not afraid to call a timeout 20 seconds into a quarter.
Yeah.
To straighten things out. I don't know, maybe he's learned his lesson, like I can't let this get out of control. They started, I think it was, I don't know if it was the third quarter or fourth quarter last night. The guys looked unmotivated. 20 seconds, 30 seconds into the quarter, he called the timeout. I dig that about him.
Yeah.
So, whenever huge ball games come up, like the game tonight in Denver, Wolves Nuggets, 9 o'clock on Bally Sports North, whenever big games like this come up, I always like to quote Jimmy Serrano from the 1988 movie Midnight Run, when Jimmy said, quote, tonight is the effing night. Tonight might be the deciding factor on who ends up with that number 1 seed, right?
Could very well be that.
Yep.
Could be. There's still a couple, 3 games to be played, but this is big. I wish it wasn't starting at 9 effing o'clock, but you don't need to hear us bitch about that.
Yeah, I was going to say both teams payed last night. That's a reason. Another reason why it's starting a little bit later, I think.
Well, and that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no the Wolves played and the Denver didn't or anything like that. Both teams played. Both teams won.
Both teams had to travel.
Yep, they both know what this game means. And I guess if you sit here and you go, what does it mean? I mean, one of them's going to be 1, the other one's likely going to be 2.
Right. I think at the end of the day, it probably means more to the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. Because,
the Nuggets won the whole schmear last year.
Yeah, and the Nuggets, if they're number 2, they're going to look at it and go, okay. I mean, it might mean something if they play each other in the Western Conference Finals and we go to a Game 7. I mean, where would that be?
Yeah.
So that does mean something from that standpoint.
Right.
But other than that, it really doesn't matter a whole lot.
It does mean more to the Wolves here.
The Denver Nuggets have been there. They don't give a rat's ass where they're seated. They don't care at all.
Well, they're like the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers don't care. As long as we're in the postseason, even if it's the play-in, we don't care. The whole idea is just to get to the postseason, and then you make things happen.
Yep.
Right?
But tonight is the effing night. When I get the disc from Walsh, you drop Walsh and you drop the Duke. Only Dana knows what I'm talking about. Boy, did Naz Reid get screwed last night.
Yeah, he did.
Got ejected for resting his elbow near somebody's skull.
I missed that.
I didn't watch the first half.
I didn't see it.
Randy, look it up if you want. You're going to laugh your ass off that he was ejected for that.
I saw on social that people were so ticked off that it was not.
It was terrible.
It's not what you'd expect when you read the headline. That's for sure.
There's a good video of it on our website.
Okay.
Go ahead over to that website.
The contact by Naz Reid to the head of Davis is unnecessary and excessive. The elbow is swung intentionally and strikes the left side of the head of Davis. Therefore, it's going to be a flagrant 2. He will be ejected. Davis will shoot 2, and we'll play from there.
It was so friggin' weak. You call that unnecessary and excessive? Did you watch the NBA in the 80s? But nowadays, there's a different definition. You know, we're so careful. Oh, God, he was hit above the neck. Oh, my God, is everyone going to be okay? It was weak. But Edwards was awesome last night. Seeing the look on his face when he hit 50 points was pretty sweet.
Back to the playoffs quickly. Does anybody remember, is the first round after the play-in tournament, once it's all settled, is that best of 5 or is that best of 7 now?
I don't remember.
Best of 7.
It's a best of 7. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll go with Brad Ryder's answer.
Nope, it's best of 7 once the play-in tournament's done.
Okay.
And just to, not that people necessarily care right now, but how it goes is 7 plays 8. Winner gets in as a 7 seed. Loser of the 7-8 game plays the winner of the 9-10 game, and then that winner is the 8 seed.
Sure.
We'll be covering this again in a week or something like that. I got a kick out of the headline in the Pioneer Press, at least the headline for the Timberwolves game last night. I felt bad for the Washington Wizards after reading this. Here's the headline. Wolves prep for Denver, fight past weaklings. There was something really special and different in last night's game between the Milwaukee Bucks and the damn Boston Celtics. The two teams combined for a record low 2 free throw attempts.
That's nuts.
Wow.
And the Boston Celtics became the first team in NBA history to not shoot a free throw.
In a game.
In a game.
The entire game, not just a quarter.
That's insane.
I didn't see a second of that game, but that smells like a YMCA pickup game to me.
The Bucks committed just 4 fouls, the fewest in league history. The two combined attempts shattered the previous record of 11 from a few years ago.
That is insane.
I can't imagine watching a game in today's NBA and only seeing 2 free throws.
What was the final score of the game?
104 to 91. Skis. I can't imagine what that might look like.
That is crazy.
It is.
Well, I didn't see any of it, but Boston's up by literally 14 games over Milwaukee for the number 1 and 2 seeds. So I wonder if Boston didn't just rest some guys or just figure we're going to shoot jump shots all night.
No. Tatum played 37 minutes.
Okay.
Holiday played 32. White played 31. Brown played 36. They played their guys.
All right. Okay.
Their normal amount of time.
That's
and the game.
That's the first reaction I would have had, though.
The game was close in the first half. In fact, Milwaukee was winning in the first half by a lot. So,
I might have to look this up on YouTube or something.
That's crazy.
I just can't imagine what it might look like as opposed to a normal NBA these days, a normal NBA game these days where the whistle is blowing constantly.
Yeah, the refs had dinner plans. They're just looking to get out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it. Well, I suppose it makes the game go a little bit faster, but still, that's bizarre.
What do we got here now? Okay, word is there were 6 arrests and a broken window once the dust settled on Connecticut's campus after they won the whole pig the other night. That's not so bad, right?
No, that's good.
What else are you going to do in stores?
I think they're getting used to it at that point. It's nothing new to them anymore.
6 arrests and a broken window. Oh, and a bunch of people got killed. I'm kidding. Reports on vandalism.
I'm going to break this window pretty soon if this guy keeps blowing the leaf blower out here.
I love the leaf blower guy.
Leave him alone.
Wow.
Go give him the phone.
Ashley, did you just say leave him alone?
Brad Ryder. Can't believe he just came off like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we all like him. I wish you did too.
We enjoy hearing him.
I wish you did too.
Most valuable employee at that campus.
There were reports of vandalism on campus, including light posts being torn down, street signs ripped out of their moorings, and a broken window. That's all right.
Like I was saying, doesn't that sound like just a weekend at a average college campus?
it
It doesn't sound bad at
Like I
all.
said, what else are you going to do in Storrs, Connecticut?
Yeah, there ain't a hell of a lot going. Maybe just to find a couple of gals, get a bottle of hooch. So the wildly overhyped Steph Blurry, in Indiana State's basketball player Robbie Avila, he's going to hump away at that transfer portal and see what happens.
Well, it's because his coach left.
Right.
His coach left, took the job at St. Louis.
So that's where they think that Cream, Abdul, Larry Nerd.
They think all their top 5 players they've all entered the transfer portal.
Jesus Christ. Every one of them?
All their starters. In fact, I thought I read yesterday that 7 or 9 players total enter the transfer portal for Indiana State.
Well, why is the coach leaving if he's having such a good
new job? No, he took a better job, or took a job. He got.
Well, but why would he leave? He's got this great thing cooking at Indiana State.
He took a job,
higher paying job.
More
higher
money.
paying job.
So the simple answer is more money.
Yes.
Okay, that's. I'm just curious.
Went to St. Louis.
And that's the one instance I have no problem with student athletes going into the transfer portal, is if your coach leaves, you should have the right to leave too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I know we're just getting started, but the Twins haven't won a home game yet.
Little.
Last night they struck out 14.
Didn't they win the opener? The home opener?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
It was a sad day.
Oh, they didn't? Okay.
Oh, they lost.
You're too busy peering out your window.
Yeah.
Saying nasty things about the leaf blower guy.
Yeah.
They struck out 14 more times. They lost to the
15.
Dodgers.
15.
He struck out 15 times last night.
was it 15?
And
Yeah.
every starter in the lineup struck out at least once, except for the kid that was called up from AAA, Austin Martin.
7 of them struck out 2 or more times.
6-3. And the Dodgers starting pitcher, a kid called Tyler Glasnow, tied his career high in strikeouts. 7 scoreless innings he threw against the Twins.
Now, in fairness to the Twins, the Dodgers did strike out 14 times.
Oh.
But they also put up 6 runs on 2-3 runs.
Well, another big difference is the Twins didn't draw a walk. Okay, you didn't walk once and you struck out 15 times. The Dodgers, I'm looking at the box score, the Dodgers walked 6 times and struck out 14 times. So, yeah, that's pretty bad, I'm sorry, if you're not drawing one single walk and you're striking out 15 times. Those are bad at-bats.
Check this out now. Glasnow needed just 88 pitches to get through his 7 innings. He became the first pitcher since 1988 to strike out at least 14 batters on 88 pitches or less.
To my point, you're not drawing walks. You're not working the count.
Anil Hershiser was the last pitcher to... I'm kidding. I mean, the Twins have dongs. They're just having a difficult time hauling them out. Now, Jeffers and Correa and Kirilloff donged after Glasnow was done, but it wasn't enough. So they play the final today with Los Angeles, noon over there at Target Field. The Dodgers are sending some kid named Bobby Miller to the bump, and I guess last time
he's good.
What's that?
He's good.
Oh, I read that last time he was out, he got...
Well, he got bombed the last time, but he's a very good young pitcher.
He might be out there standing on the mound already, ready to go after what he saw last night.
He's raring to go. He's going to...
Who's pitching for the Twins today?
They're not going to have a pitcher.
Just giving up on that?
TC's going to be on the bump tonight.
It's Chris Paddock.
Okay.
And you can see the game on Bally Sports North.
They're not going to have a pitcher.
The new Major League Baseball uniforms are being picked on again. Now, I've watched a couple of games. I don't see what we were told earlier in the season. Oh, God, you can see right through them. They look so cheap. I'm not noticing that. Am I drunk?
I think they made changes to them.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, after everyone made all this hubbub about seeing nuts and
You're
stuff
telling me
like
they
that.
took all the old uniforms back and created new ones?
Yeah, they added like an extra layer.
Well, that must have cost $1 billion.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Who is this? Who does this now? Nike or someone? Who? New
I can't remember.
New era?
Fanatics.
Fanatics.
That must have cost them a friggin' fortune. Okay, so here's why they're getting picked on now. One player for the Detroit Tigers, his pants gave way on him as he was sliding into home plate.
Oh, no.
Those just exploded.
It wasn't his ass or his nuts or anything. It was just
nothing fun.
One of his the legs on one just gave way. The leggings.
If you missed it, that's on 93x.com.
He slid home. You could have seen that a few years ago too, I think. But the fans are I don't know why fans care so much about the uniforms, but they are. They're all flipping out saying these are garbage. You should start all over again. I guess I don't see why it's that big of a concern for fans.
Well, I think fans are annoyed because the jerseys cost more than ever, and they're just so cheaply made. You're basically paying $180 for something that's paper thin and will rip easily, and the necks stretch out. They're just absolute garbage.
Put them in the washer one time and they're pretty much ruined.
Yep.
Okay.
This was a large.
Sure, if you're wanting to buy a jersey and wear it around town for a couple years, I can understand that concern. But as a fan, I don't care if the guy slides into home plate and the ass gives way in his pants. I don't care. I just don't. What else is going on here? Oh, I thought this was kind of cool yesterday. The Boston Red Sox, not that I want good things for East Coast teams in any sport, but they celebrated the 20th anniversary of their World Series title in 2004 yesterday at Fenway Park. As much as the Red Sox make me sick these days, watching them come back against the Yankees in that series in 2004 was thrilling. It really was. And it was kind of a lesser of two evils kind of a thing, right? Mm-hmm. Boston versus New York.
They also celebrated Tim Wakefield, too.
Yes, they had his kids out there who look exactly like him, in my opinion.
I think the daughter threw out the first pitch.
Yeah, I saw both.
It was pretty emotional. I watched some of that yesterday. It was pretty emotional.
But they had all the players back from 2004. Yep. Again,
including Dougie
Baseball.
Dougie Baseball.
The Super Fox, we called him on this program. Yeah. But the thing is, again, that was coming back from 3 games to none in an American League Championship Series against the friggin' Yankees in 2004. That was a beautiful thing. Yeah. And if you remember right, that was just one season after the Steve Bartman nightmare. So those were pretty entertaining stories in back-to-back seasons in the big league playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bartman thing followed by the Red Sox comeback.
And the Red Sox the year before had lost to the Yankees on that, was that a Boone home run in Game 7?
Yes.
Yep.
I remember that. Let's bring him in, Marcus Foligno of the Minnesota Wild. Good morning, Marcus.
How we doing, guys?
We're doing all right. How are you doing? Did you go under the knife yet or what?
I did, yeah, I did. Already a week, and feeling pretty good now, so I'm happy that's behind me. I can focus on the rehab now.
Waffle wants to know if you have any pills left, and if so, if you'd be willing to share.
Those are stashed away for rainy days.
See,
Today is a pill day.
That proves right there that Marcus knows some shady people. Because we used to work with a guy, didn't we, Josh, here in the building? Anytime anyone was sick and they were taking medication, he'd pull you aside and say, hey, when you feel better and if you got any left over, pass a little my way.
Every time. It didn't matter what it was. He always wanted it.
It's crazy.
Marcus, we were sorry to hear about your season ending early and all that. So our sympathies on that. I know that for a guy like you, at a pro level athletes, that's not easy to take.
No, it's tough. I mean, but I know that it'll be better for it. So, I got a lot of hockey left, and I just want to make sure that I'm 100% for those years, and especially next season. So, it was a good time to get done. Obviously, you got a full summer after this to rehab and get stronger and everything too to come back even better next year. But just something that was tweaking during the year and couldn't really get it to calm down. So, good to take care of it now and like I said, just be ready to roll for next season.
What was it exactly they did to you, and was there anything interesting about the procedure?
It's like a sports hernia surgery. So it's like my lower ab, almost going down to kind of your groin. They cut you open and then they kind of repair the muscle and kind of put this like I call it the Chinese finger trap. It's like a mesh like that, and
Sure. I've heard of that mesh before.
They throw it into the lower ab area, and then your muscle kind of weaves in and grows in. You feel a lot stronger after the procedure when you rehab properly, and that's what was going with on my body, kind of slowly kind of deteriorating and tough to do, kind of high knees and things like that, where you got to push forward and skating in general. So it was something I know I did at the end of last season with my right side, and my left side was fine, but this time my left side went, and I know how good my right side feels. So if this can feel just like my right side, I'll be happy to come next season.
I didn't know you could have muscles in your abs. Is that new?
Things they do with science these days.
It took a while.
I suppose you got to lay off the wife for a while too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we just had a kid, so no matter what,
even better time to get it then.
That's true.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, you're right.
Look, we just had a baby, so it's not exactly like a, how many?
Good timing.
Well, yeah, the timing is good personally and professionally. How many procedures have you had as a pro?
I've had about. I think this is my fourth one. I've had a serious shoulder one a long time ago, and everything's been good on that, knock on wood. But yeah, this past two surgeries kind of been the bigger ones, and then we've had broken bones and broke my face in a fight one time, and that was just a little quick surgery, popped the bone back in place in my face, and that wasn't actually too bad. And then there was just broken thumbs and things like that you gotta get pins and stuff put in. But other than that, nothing too bad.
Who the hell broke your face?
I fought a guy in Chicago, and he got a lucky punch, and he hit me like square on like the cheekbone.
Was this on the ice or off the ice?
This was on the ice.
Okay, okay. I thought maybe you were just bar hopping in Chicago, and
yeah, you never know too. Yeah, but no, this was on the ice, and it was a good one. It was one of those where you get back to the penalty box, and you're like trying to bite down, and you're like, oh wait, my jaw is kind of off right now. So I stayed in the box for the 5 minutes and went back to see my trainer, John Worley, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, I can't bite down. He's like, yeah, it looks like your cheekbone's a little puffy. Let's go check it out. And sure enough, it was broken. So, but it was one of those things where I went to the Chicago hospital. I'll never forget this, because I walked in the Chicago hospital, and there's probably two people with gun wounds sitting in the corner, and I'm like, yeah, I'm totally fine. I should just get out of here. So that was probably that. I was like, I got no issue. I got nothing to complain about with the people in here right now. So I was an eye opener going to the Chicago hospital.
They had you seated in the same room as the gunshot victims?
Oh, they had these people in the hallway. It was insane. I'm like, so much attend. I'm like, they're like, okay, we got you ready for the room in the back, and I'm like, actually, this guy can go before me. He looks like he's not going to make it. So it was, I don't know. I didn't feel any pain as soon as I walked in that hospital.
Oh man!
You're just reading of his last rites.
Oh man! You got any favorite hospital foods?
Well, I mean, actually, you know what? When we just had our baby, so we were there for a night or two, and oh my God, what they had? They actually had steak on the menu.
Oh wow! Dang, you got better insurance than we.
I didn't do myself to that. There was chicken pot pie. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, dude. It's come a long way. Hospital food's come a long way.
Yeah.
Jello is always an option.
Can't beat the Jello.
Jello, yeah. Oh, they'll put some whipped cream on there for you.
Oh, I didn't ask for that. That probably cost extra.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. People talk about the ice at hospitals.
It's the best ice.
Yeah, I hear people say it all the time. They love the
chips.
Yeah, the chipped ice.
Yeah.
You can buy those machines now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can get it at Sonic too. A lot of people call it Sonic Ice.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
We're talking with Marcus Foligno here from the Minnesota Wild. Your broken face story reminds me of a great story from Derek Bugard. How many years ago? Probably 10 years. I don't know. Derek Bugard playing football.
Like that.
He terrific guy. We had the chance to meet him once or twice. Very nice guy, and how great was he at his job? At one point or another, God help us, Todd Fedoruk. Todd Fedoruk joins the Pigs. Bugard's there. the prior season when Fedoruk was playing for Anaheim, the two guys fought, and Bugard broke Fedoruk's orbital bone.
Face.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about this. Like this guy broke his face. Like, then what was it? The next month he got traded there.
I want to say it was the next season. Maybe it was the next month. You'd know better than me, Marcus.
Yeah.
But the story I heard is Fedoruk walks into the Wild locker room, and Bugard says, "Hey, I'm Derek Bugard. I'm the guy who broke your face last year. You want to be roommates on the road?"
Oh, man. That's where they were best buddies.
And they became friends.
Oh, yeah.
That's
how it works.
Yeah.
There's a picture of me and Ryan Reeves fighting, and there's a picture of, I'm sure you guys seen it. It's around the internet somewhere, and it's a really good shot for Ryan Reeves, and it's him punching me like at the side of the head, and I'm like clenching down. It's probably the best picture to have if you're a guy in that position as Ryan Reeves was. And then like a month and a half later, we're on the same team. So it's just one of those things. The guys you fight sometimes get traded for, or they trade for that guy, and it's weird. But I think there's a respect factor in that sense where you're just like, that makes you closer because you're the two guys that go to war on the ice and are willing to do that stuff. So
right.
Yeah, you become pretty good friends.
That is a bad.
And now you got two of them, so no one's gonna screw around with two guys on the team that can fight. So
yeah, no
good
kidding.
point.
It's better for you. But yeah, it's a great photo for him. I remember I've had to like sign that photo like 100 times.
He like signs his fist, and you have to sign your face or something.
Yeah, every time I sign it, I said I slipped it. Just slipped that one.
And we all know there's that code of respect amongst fighters in the NHL. But has there ever been a situation where it was tough to let it go? Where, a particular clash you had with a guy was vicious enough to where the next time you saw him, it was tough to embrace that idea of respect, and you know what I'm talking about, where you just
Yeah. I got suspended a couple of years ago. For like in a fight altercation for kneeing the guy while we were on the ground.
I remember that, sure.
It was that was probably the thing that I kind of lost it in a little bit of the respect factor. But I mean, it was one of those things where we fought twice in the same game. So first time it went through, it was a good fight, and then it was like the respect factor. And the second time it was like, oh no, I just want to beat this guy to a pulp. So I think you just kind of get squirrely, and then you fall to the ground. And I remember last thing I know, I'm doing MMA moves on him, so it didn't work out good for me. You get suspended a couple of days, so it's always tough after that. But I mean, in the moment, you just, I don't know, like there's always a respect factor no matter what throughout the league with guys fighting. But at the end of the day, it's a fight. There's emotion. The game or whatever ticked off, and like sometimes things just get the best out of you, and you let loose and you do things that you maybe regret later. But in the moment, it's pretty cool to do it. So it's just that's probably the stuff that you just you get so angry that you kind of let it all loose.
Well, the next time you saw that dude that you dumped the knee on, did he seem?
No, that's the thing. Maybe he was like, nah, this guy's nuts. I'm not going to mess around with this guy again. I don't know. But I think that's the thing. I was expecting something to happen, someone on the team, because, and then, I got nothing. No one even looked at me. So I was like, it's interesting. But then I was always told maybe you got to get suspended once in a while to let people know you're a little crazy. So that's it. Keep people always guessing on what you might do,
It's just interesting that, you can have these all-out brawls, and then, maybe next time you run into the guy at a charity function, you got to shake his hand. It's an interesting situation you guys are in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I played against Ryan Carter, and we fought. And now he's around the rink a lot, and he's one of the nicest guys. And it's just like he's like I said, he's a great guy, and he's obviously works for the team and does a great job with that too. So we see him a lot. But it's later on in life, you're just going to have to bump into these guys down the road. And even if we go to NHLPA meetings, and a lot of the guys show up, and you're in a room with, it's like a alumni kind of event, but a lot of guys that you bash heads with, or you chirped, or you said something where you told them you're going to kill him next time you see him, and then you're like, oh, we saw each other again, and it's okay, we're having a beer now. So it's not too bad. It's just it is what it is. But I think that's what everyone in the league, at least guys from my era and before, absolutely understand that kind of code of when you fight, you leave it out there.
See, Randy Shaver, you'd never make it doing what Marcus does for a living.
Hell no.
Number one, because you're a soft-ass Iowegian, but number two, you hold a grudge.
I do hold a grudge,
Yeah.
and I like my face.
I do like your face.
Everyone likes your face.
I like my face.
It might mess up your hair, like the hair.
Well, the hair I'm not worried about. That's not going to mess up my hair, but yeah, that's just a crazy way to make a living. I'll tell you.
Marcus, did you and your brother fight a lot growing up? And I'm wondering if maybe that would help.
Oh yeah.
So you're just used to it, and that's why you don't hold grudges.
Oh
maybe?
yeah.
Like the serious fighting, or just like the wrestle fighting?
It was like we never really like fist fought. It was more of like we were big for the grab you and throw you down as like the younger brother. You kind of get the old headlock choke maneuver. But I think for the biggest thing that I remember is like, you ever get punched in the back and just get the wind knocked out of you?
Oh, absolutely.
The worst.
That's what we did to each other, and it always was something. And Nick liked to cheat in mini sticks, so I would always just. He threw me through a closet door before, like just right off the hinges, just took this thing right out. So we had like these like old the sliders, the accordion doors for the closet, and I went right through these things like an old Western movie. Like it was awful.
Your folks must have been pretty pumped about that.
Oh yeah. And surprisingly, it didn't really hurt that bad, but everything came off the track, and we had to fix. That took us a while to put that back into place. I don't think we kept like one door open. We had the other closet door like split. I think our mom came up to try to close the closet door in case we had company coming over, and they fell off, and we're like, "What'd you do?"
Way to go, Mom.
Yeah.
You set it up just enough to where the next person that touched it would crumble. Yes.
Absolutely. So
Smart move.
but that was like the competitive side between Nick and I. I think that's what we just always wanted to beat each other, winning at whatever game, video game or ball hockey, road hockey. It didn't. We just always wanted to beat each other. So it was always competitive. Our sisters had to separate us a lot of times.
Brother on brother violence is normal when you're growing up. It's normal.
Yeah.
You can't.
But you never want to mess with the sisters because they would grab you by the hair or eye gouge you. That's the sisters I grew up with. So that they probably made us tougher than us beating the crap out of each other.
They'd kick you in the nuts and whatnot. They didn't think there was anything wrong with that. They'd kick you square.
They were going right for the suspension. That's what they were going for.
Right to the fine.
That's exactly right. Going for well, you know what? This will be our last time chatting with you, I believe, this hockey season, Marcus Foligno. It's been an absolute riot.
If you guys ever get bored and just want to have another half-ass morning show, you can just call me. You guys have my number. I'm always around. I'm on the shelf, the rehab shelf, so I got nothing else going on. Please, someone call me. Talk to me.
Spoken like a bored man.
You have made a terrible mistake.
You have no idea what you've done.
You call us when you're drunk and lonely.
Perfect.
Or maybe one of those rainy days where you get into the pills.
Yes, exactly.
So, I mean, we've had such a great time getting to know you and talking to you every couple of weeks. But just before we go, after you heal up, what are you going to do with your free time now? I mean, what do you got going on? Aside from chasing the kids around and all that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. I mean, we go up northern Ontario, up to Canada for the summers, so that's where we stay, and we have a cottage up there. So, I mean, once June hits, we usually roll up there and then just enjoy the lake that we live on, and my brother's up there and my dad, and our families kind of all get together. So honestly, I do a lot of fishing, a lot of boating, and just really enjoy the outdoors and just hang out. It's kind of like a mental like recharge for this next season, and I think I give a lot of credit coming up here to like how I'm able to come back and play each season and have fun with it, because I just feel like when you get up here in the north, man, you don't think about anything else. So it's awesome, and that's what I'll be doing. We got no real big plans, no real big trips this summer, no weddings, so it's kind of nice. I'm enjoying it. It's going to be a good summer, and hopefully the weather just turns out great. But other than that, just working out, training, getting ready for next season to obviously make sure that we're playing come end of April and then into June. So that's the biggest thing. I think everyone will be fired up to improve and to get ready for next season once this year's over and get a little time off. But I know it leaves a sour taste in our mouth that we're not there and the 8 teams that make it, and I think that's the most disappointing thing. You don't play to have early summer, so I know you guys don't. You guys need more hockey to watch, so it's disappointing for everyone. So we take that personally, and we know that it's a big summer for our whole team.
Yeah, so. It sucks. If it makes you feel any better, none of us have ever made the playoffs.
No.
And that's how you know you're talking to a Canadian when he talks about his cabin, but he calls it a cottage.
I noticed that.
A cottage.
Yeah, well, I know I don't understand the cabins because you guys people call it cabins, and then I go up there. I'm like, this isn't a cabin. A cabin's like 4 walls, a 10 by 20 hunting camp. That's what I think a cabin is. But you get some of these big cabins. You're like, no, this ain't no cabin.
Yeah, this is a second home. This is a resort.
Anything nicer than a fish house is a cottage. He's saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We'll call you every 5 minutes.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on this year, and I hope we can do it again next season for sure.
It's been a great time. It really has been, and we might just take you up on your offer, and we'll bother you sometime this spring or summer and see what you're up to.
Absolutely, Mark. I'm around.
Thanks, buddy. Get well soon,
right,
and we will we'll hear from you.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks again.
See you.
Bye.
What a hell of a nice guy.
He's so cool.
I mean, a hell of a... Our Minnesota Wild Report is brought to you by Luther Kia of Bloomington. There goes Marcus.
A friend of mine who's listening who finds Marcus very attractive, just like we do, she texted me and said, so you guys have his number, ...
You better change that contact information.
A friend of my friggin' wife's, one of her girlfriends, when this whole smear started in October, November, whenever we started talking to Marcus, this gal friend of my wife's called my wife and said, your husband is right now talking to the hottest man I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, shucks.
No, Josh, you bastard.
I'm an idiot. I didn't follow the... Okay, you're right.
She's a Pigs fan, this gal, this friend of my friggin' wife. And when she learned that we were having Marcus on the show bi-weekly, it completely changed her opinion of all of us.
She started to respect you finally.
Yes.
My stepdaughter, when we used to talk to Brian Dozier from the Twins, was obsessed. It's to the point where I think she followed his dog Pickle on Instagram or something like that.
Yep.
And would talk about how any significant other he had wasn't good enough for him. She'd be the one. I had to change his contact information because I legitimately got scared she'd get into my phone and maybe call him or something.
That's a good call.
That'd be horrifying.
Josh. Yeah.
She was young enough where she might have done it.
There's a couple of us here that are good looking.
Just gonna leave it at that.
Thank you.
Randy, we got to get going again, but thank you for your damn time, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 7:30.
What about Brad?
What about Brad?
Brad had to drop off.
He's
Had that
gone.
hard out again.
Left?
Yeah, he had to get
you
going.
You know what? That's it. Cut Brad off. Just cut Brad off.
No
He's
more
fighting
Brad.
the leaf blower guy right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Randy, none of my wife's friends are calling about Brad. I'll tell you
No kidding. Mine either.
He leaves mysteriously when nobody's looking. He's been doing that lately.
It's like
Very
an
good
Irish
sneaky.
goodbye.
It just drops out.
Doesn't
Yeah.
say goodbye.
He had to go.
He just goes, and he expects us. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Randy. Thanks, bud. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
It is the triple savings spring sale at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. That's a trifecta. Visit standardheating.com.
You met Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now Lala and her friends share everything on Give Them Lala.
I'm expecting my second child, which is very, very amazing.
Congratulations.
To say. Feels
We're
that
all
way.
with child.
You can say she's pregnant, she's knocked up, anything except with child.
Oh, I love with child. I'm going to be saying it all the time.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yes.
6 feet. I'm with child.
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
You're listening to the radio. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, F this, man. How you doing, Cubby?
Good. How are you doing?
I love you, bro.
I love you, too.
Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. I'll tell you what, it is 8:30. It's 8:36? Mm-hmm. We're going to be out of here before you can say Jack Robinson. When's the last time you were getting it smooth on now, okay? But something happened, and you had to stop, and that was that. You're pinballing back and forth like it's prom night, like you're a sewing machine, right? Mm-hmm. And then something or another happens, and you had to stop, and you did not continue.
Well, I finished very quickly, so it's a rare opportunity where something would interrupt it. So it wasn't a third party in any way or an event outside of the two of us, my wife and I. But she had...
You're having sex with the wife lately, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Well, not lately, but this was back when she
back in the day.
was attracted to me.
Sure.
That has since died off, and the fall-off was dramatic, let's say. But she, in the middle of it, I must have been giving it to her real good because she started bringing up the kids' schedules.
Oh, no! What the hell's the matter with her?
And I thought, you can't put that image in my head and then, like the action mode you're supposed to be in for something like that, that quickly faded. The tent came down, the balloon deflated, everything, and then that's what caused my injury.
Well, did she caused your injury?
Yeah, I remember when I had the hucklebuck.
Because you lost some steam.
Yeah.
You became vulnerable.
Yes.
And it went wee-hoo. It went the other.
Right. And you guys, have you ever heard of this cowgirl?
Sure.
Okay, so that's what was happening.
What kind of a psycho brings up kids' activities when you're boning?
One that is bored with the process.
Especially that position.
So there you were. You're lying on your back. Yep. You're naked with the exception of a T-shirt.
Yes, and socks.
And socks.
Yeah.
And she
and my boxers were wrapped around one leg. Okay, go ahead.
And she says to you, tomorrow at 2, little Donnie has to be at the dentist's office.
That's right. And then I was almost instantaneous. I'm like, and then she kind of laughed at me, and I didn't appreciate it.
That's not how you do it.
But never interrupted by, let's say, somebody walking in or something like that.
I've been racking my brain over here. I can't think of anything, mainly because I just keep pumping. You know what I mean? I just keep on a pumping.
You're dedicated to your craft.
What happened.
You don't care. You don't even care who's there. You don't even care who it's with.
Not at all. People have been talking about this on the internet. You're rolling, full on. Everyone's folded in the right position. You're getting her. And then something happens and you have to stop and you never come back to it. Anyone else with a live microphone?
The only thing I can think of was when I was really younger. It hasn't happened to me since, I guess, trying to lose my virginity. Because I was trying to finally do the deed.
You were trying to lose your virginity.
Yeah, and
you got to find a place to do it where it's private because you got parents at home or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
So no, I just was in my bedroom.
Oh, okay.
I just closed the door, which was not allowed if you had boys over. And so my dad came in. And
your dad came in. You had a boy behind a closed door.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good. My dad was not happy.
Did he see things that were unspeakable?
No, there was a blanket.
Oh, there was a blanket.
Thankfully.
But he knew what was happening.
Yep.
And did he ever bring it up?
No, I don't think he did.
Did the two of you talk about it? You didn't talk about it?
I think he put that on to my mom. But I was on birth control shortly after that.
Oh, okay.
Because he was like, that's not happening.
Pipeline Inspector Sheezes has texted the program to say her husband got the worst leg cramp of his life.
Oh. That happens more and more as you get older.
Oh, I've had that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She said the session ended, but they did do some nude stretching to try to get her husband's calf to give way.
Point your toes to the sun.
I had one kind of like Ashley's that still haunts me to this day. And I'm sure I'm not the one that's probably haunted the most by it, trust me. But I was about 19 or 20 at a girl's place, at her parents' house. Her parents were gone for the weekend, whatever. And it was the morning, and we were, having some fun.
Oh, God, in the morning?
Yeah.
Rookie mistake.
Whatever.
Rookie mistake.
Here's what happened, though.
Do you mean 2 a.m. after the bar?
Yeah.
No, it was like 9 a.m.
Sun's out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, the door opens. Her younger brother walked in. Hey, I got you guys McDonald's. And has to witness what's happening in his sister's bedroom.
Super pumped about the McDonald's, though.
I know.
How old of a younger brother?
So we were like 19, 20. He was probably 17, 18.
Oh, okay.
And I bet you're gross when you have sex, too. I bet you look really stupid.
I bet you're right, Josh. I was picturing some little, dorky second grader or so. So this guy knew what he was looking at.
Right, but still.
Did he see things...
There were no covers
that were
involved.
unspeakable.
Yes.
Oh,
and then
the sweaty headband.
He he immediately shuts the door, and we hear him scamper away, and we're laying there, we're mortified. Her face is red. I'm like,
I mean, how immediately did you put your jorts back on after that?
Well, wait a minute. You stopped just because a 17-year-old kid? That wouldn't have stopped me.
She was mortified. I mean, it was more her that was just like, I can't believe it. I'm never going to be able to look him in the face again. And I looked at her and said, well, hey, at least we got McMuffins.
Yeah. There's always McMuffins.
Silver lining.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking most 19 or 20-year-olds. I mean, hell, it would be a lot. It would take a lot more than that to stop them. But maybe, she came from a religious family or something. Who knows? Here are some answers from the internet on what stopped you dead in your bang tracks. Well, here's a guy who says we were on LSD and suddenly she turned into a skeleton.
Oh, that would stop things.
That's frightening.
Has anyone here tried that?
Hell no.
Mm-mm.
Tried what?
LSD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have? Was it like in the movies? And by the way, why would you do? I'd be terrified to try something like that.
Just wanted to.
Yeah, young and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Wapple? Did you see anything crazy like somebody turn into a skeleton?
No, it was just more like everything could breathe. Colors were really cool, really detailed.
So it's kind of like the movies in that way.
Yeah, but there was not like hallucinating.
It's not cartoony
stuff.
like that. I wish it was. That'd be so cool. Except not the skeleton thing. That would be a really bad trip.
Suddenly he looked down and the woman he was having sex with had turned into a skeleton.
Yeah, for me, colors just got really, really detailed. Vivid.
All right, I see some text coming in. There's more to be said on this subject. What stopped you dead in your tracks when you were doing it?
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, here's what we've been jaw-jacking about. We got to get the hell out of here in a few minutes. But not before we go a little further with this. We were talking on the program about sex. You're having sex. Something happens where you got to stop and you don't go back to it. It's not like a pause. Oh, what the hell? And you go. Something happens. You got to stop and you never get back after it. The brotherhood, the sisterhood, they've been texting in. Here's some of what's been happening to them over the years. Oh, by the way, the most popular answers have been a parent walked in, little kids ruining everything for you, right? Little kids. Mommy, I got to go to the bathroom. Bleeding.
There's so much blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood.
Off air, I kept going, oh my God, oh geez. Some people have really been hurt, literally.
A lot of yous have lost a lot of blood.
Yeah, oh geez.
And hitting the wrong target. Those have been the most common. But here are some that are a little more, a little different. Dog making a big fat deuce in the bedroom. Nobody can stand the smell. They got to stop.
Luckily, that's never happened.
I've had that happen. It's terrible. It was funny, too, because we didn't see the dog do it, and we both looked at each other as if to say, was that you?
Oh. You'd have to, right?
Yeah.
You're focused on each other, hopefully.
I mean, we had the conversation. I said, okay, if that was you, you need to see a doctor. And she said, I thought it was you. Leaked breast milk made somebody pump the brakes. And some people out there would say, well, that wouldn't slow me down.
DJ Dunn Messing Around Jesus said he and his wife took mushrooms on their wedding night. By the end of it, his wife was a witch riding a broomstick, and he was frozen.
Jesus Christ.
What?
They make it sound so much fun.
Here's a guy It stopped him dead in his tracks, so it must have been his wife or his serious girlfriend. That's just my guess. He doesn't give out that information, but he says he saw a used condom in the nightstand when she opened it up to grab a toy.
Oh.
He says, I don't use condoms.
Ooh,
Why
yeah,
would you
that'll
throw a
kill them.
used yuck?
Trying to hide it and then
Sometimes
forgetting about
it's
it?
an emergency. Just you throw it into the corner of the...
Now, you mentioned that people walking in was one of the more common answers that were coming in from the Brother and Sisterhood, but I thought this one was a little unique and kind of scary. From cabinet maker Jesus, he said it was just last week. He's going at it with the girlfriend. The girlfriend's 7-year-old woke up in a room next door and said her full name, including her middle name, and then says, I hear you. You're being inappropriate.
That is terrifying.
That would stop me for a while, I think.
Yeah.
So we went back to her, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
What else stopped some of you dead in your tracks when you were banging? How about cop knocking on the window of the car?
Oh, that would do it.
A cat retching.
Gross.
You know how they do it.
Yep.
They wind up, they let everybody in the neighborhood know they're about to vomit.
Yeah, they
dogs
go
are like
for
that
it.
too. Yeah, that's for sure.
Dogs
Speaking
put
of-
on a show.
I think the cats are the more
yeah.
difficult. Speaking of pets, here's a guy who had to stop having sex, didn't go back to it, because she got bit in the face by a dog.
Oh.
Yeah, that would ruin the mood for
That would
most
be
people.
horrible. I got bitten in the face once by a dog, not while having sex because I was 5, but I got bit in the face by a dog. That's horrible.
Fat Moose Jesus said a dog nose in the beehole will bring a session to a halt real quick.
That'll goose you.
You kind of wonder who's doing that.
I might like it.
When did you get here?
One of our listeners says his knee locked up while he was having doggy-style sex, and now he's got to have meniscus surgery.
Oh, man.
Another listener on what stopped him while having sex. Guy came into the room with a bucket. It was time to clean the bathrooms at the state fair.
How about
a lady said I threw up while giving a beach.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
This is a good one. Try being a volunteer firefighter and the pager goes off. Decisions need to be made. They should tell you the level of emergency so you can decide if you're going to finish what you're doing. A heart attack. Someone had a heart attack.
Oh.
Yeah, that would kill the mood.
We're all headed in that direction. We're all one, two, three. How many of us are here? 5? Probably 3 of the 5 of us will probably die of a heart attack while having sex. I read the statistics. Oh, no. This is just... Dude says we were switching positions, and then she started crying because she still wasn't over her ex.
Oh. Yeah, I couldn't go back to that, I don't think. Single father Jesus said his baby mama went into labor when they were having sex.
Whoa.
Yeah, it induces labor.
Knock something loose.
One guy found a lump in his nuts. That'd be scary. Found a lump in his nuts. He didn't tell me if they found it to be, if the doctor, but yeah. He and his lady found a lump in his nuts. A bed sheet got hooked around my piercing. Oh! And yanked the sumbitch right out of my head.
Oh, pulled it out. Ouch.
Oh!
Oh, it's like Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
The one with all the crap in her face?
And this is the final on my end. Great answers. I love it when we can do it like this. Start a little conversation and have the listeners chime in. Again, what stopped you? And you never went back. What stopped you when you were having sex? I was pinballing back and forth, says a listener. 4 o'clock in the morning. Got a call from my pal saying, dude, you got to pick me up. I got a DWI. That sucks. Thanks for nothing, dude.
Yeah, you got to put the phone on Do Not Disturb, I guess, during your next intimate session. Sending our best to the balls of hours older than MOA Jesus, who's back to work today after his vasectomy last week. Don't forget, you got to clear the cannon like 50 times. 50 times.
Get to it.
Thank you to Commercial Real Estate Jesus, streaming the show from Scottsdale this morning. Happy birthday to Metal Militia Jesus Jr., turning 15 today from Dad, Metal Militia Jesus Sr. Happy birthday, shout out to General Contractor Jesus from Hot Rod Building Jesus. Happy 56th birthday to Bill, the best dad a son could ask for from Not a Morning Guy Jesus. Have a great Wednesday.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Install a new furnace and AC combo and save up to $3,000 with manufacturer and utility rebates along with Standard Heating's discount. Visit standardheating.com.